Hey everybody, and welcome to another Whitecloaks live stream. Uh, yeah, this is kind of shooting from the hip a little bit. I wanted to talk with some guys about a couple things, some Wheel of Time news that came out this week, the Dungeons and Dragon movie, um, as well as just before we started here, Zach said that he's already seen the John Wick movie that I know I want to see, and I think probably some other people are interested on their takes. And anytime there's Wheel of Time news, obviously Steve has to come in and give his pronouncements as the prophet and say yay or nay. Is it acceptable?
No.
So we're gonna have a conversation. Is it acceptable? You're saying no.
It never is
It's
with
never.
this, anyways. It's not too hard.
Yeah,
My
that's
job is
honestly
done.
that's a good point. That's a good point. But so for guests today, I got obviously Steve, Prophet of the Dragon. Thank you again for hopping on. You are always a great guest. So yeah, thanks for making time, buddy.
Of course.
And I understand you delayed doing some videos on some of these topics yourself to be able to come on and do it with us here on the stream. So yeah, thanks for that too. I think this is hopefully going to be a good conversation. Well, okay, I take that back. There's some bad things I'm about to do to you, Steve. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So I watched part of it, right, and then I threw up, and I forgot to go back and watch any of it more. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
about
forgot.
it.
I tuned it out, and then we did my little Sanderson. We were talking about the Sanderson, smear job article.
Oh, you're gonna have to break that down for us. I know that you guys already talked about it a little bit. I haven't read that article.
Oh,
I
it's a
just
complete.
know of the article.
Yeah,
So
it's a complete, whether you like Sanderson or not, it's a complete hack job.
Yeah, it is.
And Sanderson made his response that everybody knew he would make, which was basically, "I'm a nice guy, don't worry about it." And it's like, nah, we're gonna this is not how you this is this is not how you treat people. This is just like you're just So it's
he
bad.
gave
The whole
kind of
thing is
like
bad.
kind of the disappointed dad.
Not
Is that
even
what
that.
you-
It was just sort of like I felt like his response. There's a little bit of like an undertone of like, this guy's an idiot, but I like him anyways. It was like, this guy called all of you guys nerds, and you said basically not just me, but you all sucked. But just because he doesn't like stuff doesn't mean that you should dump all over him. I basically found it like a Twitch creator saying, "Hey, don't go over that other Twitch channel and start calling that guy an a-hole. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. He can be an a-hole from afar."
So good, wholesome sort of Sanderson.
Yeah, no, that was it. Just came out. He comes out looking like the good guy, which is exactly how he should look, because he is the good guy in this part of it. But yeah,
I watched your video about that, Steve, but then I read the article after, and it's even worse than you guys put it across. Like,
it's worse.
You were being generous in your video, I would say, based on
what
I
that's
read.
That's why I think I'm gonna go back and do another actual video, like an actual video, then rather than have a discussion, so I can actually go into it a little bit more. Because this guy, I don't want to take over the whole night with this, but
man,
this is a chill stream. This piece of shit. Excuse me. Did we make it 5 minutes? No, we didn't make it 5 minutes. Sorry. This piece of shit reporter.
Sorry, we're not monetized.
From The Wire. Oh, still, I'm practicing. I'm trying. Okay. From The Wire is invited personally. Somebody on Brandon Sanderson's team knows this person, maybe, I don't know, but personally from Wired Magazine gets invited to Dragonsteel Con which is Brandon Sanderson's convention.
Which okay, can you explain why is Wired Magazine doing an article about Brandon Sanderson?
That's all.
Like that's why I was blown away by that.
Well, that's why I sort of have a theory, and I'm going to make a video about it, because I sort of have a theory to why this is why this is all happening. It could be tinfoil hat, but whatever. But basically, they invite this hack to Dragonsteel. He gets all the perks, including he gets to there you go. Zach said it right there. He gets to stay at the Cosmere fucking compound. Like, he's staying in the Elantris suite. He gets to see all this artwork from the books.
Wait, there's an Elantris suite?
Yes. he like you know when you were kids and you had your three best friends and said, "Hey, when I grow up, we're gonna buy a cul-de-sac and your house is gonna be that's his life. He's got one house over there, that's the Cosmere Palace. He's got his freaking warehouse over down the street so he can watch. It's all in a gated community, and this guy's staying in the Elantris suite, and all he can think about is the how he's taken him to floppy Chinese food, and oh God forbid he had to drive from San Francisco to Utah to talk to the most popular fantasy writer right now, and he couldn't think of any good questions to ask him. All he was doing was hunting for dirt. I don't know if that's what you felt like, Zach, but like, you know, you could just tell by some of the things that are said. The guy was just hunting for dirt on Sanderson, and he didn't find any, and anything that was even close. He's like, "Can we talk about that some more?" And Sanderson's like, "I really don't even want you to print what I said, but I guess."
He tried to turn the lack of dirt into dirt. The fact that there was no dirt was all the dirt he can come up with. And he ate at the man's table. He slept in his house
with his kids and his wife.
He holds on to this for what, 5 months? And then puts this
garbage what?
So that's why.
Dude, what a Hollywood freaking move, man! Like, you stay in somebody's house.
Stayed in his house, ate dinner with his kids multiple times. His wife was with him for half the time, having pleasant conversation. She says straight up, "I don't care what she says. I could give a fuck." That's like what he's saying. It's like, dude, like, what's your problem? And then Zach's right, holds it for 5 months, and it's like, what for? Like, nothing's like. So that's why I think something's happening here in the background. I think this might almost be like a popularity test. Like, this might be sort of like how popular is Brandon Sanderson? Nothing is happening with Brandon Sanderson right now. So let's release this article and see what it drums up. Because literally, this is the worst time to be releasing an article on Sanderson. No conventions, no books. No show. Okay. Nothing is happening with Brandon Sanderson right now.
This comment from Kevin Adams. So
yes,
I had seen the quote about his kids salting food. I did not know that Brandon Sanderson's son was autistic. See, this dude sounds like a real freaking lowlife. Like,
scumbag.
Yeah, he's like he put soy sauce on his yakisoba. It's like, well, some of us like fucking soy sauce. What's your problem? Like, what? Like,
also, it's a kid, man. Like, you know the shit that I've seen kids eat. Like,
it's a child.
You know, okay, who has not seen a kid like drown a steak in ketchup or something like that, right? Kids eat shit that adults are like, what the hell is wrong with you? That's par for the course.
And it's like, and then all the, you know, and it's like okay, he's staying, he's having fucking dinner at his table. He's living in his house. He's having conversations with, like, not just his close family, everybody, like his whole team, his whole family, all his friends are there having conversations with this douchebag, and the only thing that this guy gets out of it is, oh well, the shower was really nice in the suite. It was really nice. I liked the shower a lot. Oh my god, the shower was so good.
It was all petty. All of it was petty.
Yeah, and then taking jabs at the fans.
Have you read this article too?
Oh, sorry,
I did not. No.
So he took a jab at a fan at Dragonsteel Con. Remember the Brandon Sanderson convention? He's taking stabs at them for wearing graphic T-shirts of Sanderson's stuff. Oh, and he made fun of the way Sanderson looked. That was I like that part. That was good. He made fun of the way he looked, and then he made fun of a guy for doing a 3D printout of one of the. It's not technically a shard blade, but one of the giant weapons from the Cosmere. The dude made a 3D printout of this thing, and he's walking around with a giant sword, and he's making fun of him. It's like, dude, do you not know this is like? And that's part of what I was talking to Salty and Daniel about last night. This is what conventions used to be: nerds nerding out about the thing that they're there for, not popularity contests where nobody knows what they're actually there for.
Going to a place where they were going to be with other people who had the same interest and wanted to be there for the same reason, right? Because before this stuff was popularized, like, yeah, dude, if you were the kid in high school sitting there reading a fantasy book during your lunch break or something like that, you know, that was something that drew negative attention to you.
Right? And that's exactly what Sanderson said. That in his response, he's like, "That's the part that worried me the most." Was he was basically this was written in the '80s, making fun of fantasy people that like fantasy. This was somebody in the '80s writing a hit piece on not just me but the fans who taking shots at people that like fantasy and the stigma that fantasy people are nerds. And it's like it's bad. It's really bad. And like we didn't go.
I think
over
I might
the
have to
top
read
hard.
this article. It's
You
gone,
should.
like
It's
that
disgusting.
sounds worse, honestly, than like I thought that it was just like really low effort and like
No.
Oh yeah,
No,
this
no,
guy's
no.
a
I thought so
nerd
too.
and like
it's just disgusting.
It sounds a lot worse.
The first freaking paragraph, he's taking shots at him. The first paragraph, it's right from jump. It's disgusting. The guy should never write anywhere again.
He makes fun of the way Sanderson dresses. Then Sanderson is self-deprecating about how he dresses. And then he uses that as an angle to attack him again further. Like there's no reason for any of that stuff. And I thought you guys were going to be like, okay, well, it can't be that bad. Maybe there's more to it. And then I read it. I'm like, no, you guys are being nice. This is garbage.
Yeah.
Like this.
No, I didn't go off on a huge tangent, but the guy's complete. I mean, and like, I don't know that we were being nicer than we could have been.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But you're
well,
right.
Before
we could have gone a lot harder.
Before we get too far into this, obviously we're going to talk some more about this. We'll bring in some of the comments from the chat. There's been some good ones there as well. But Mike OBG70, I just want to say, hey, thanks again for joining us as well. You are
sorry, Mike. Yeah, me and Zach
we got real sidelines.
Sorry.
But the reason that I want to kind of bring him back in for a second was because part of the thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and this part, sorry, Steve, you kind of excluded Mike and I a little bit. We haven't read this article as much. I know that you have not played Dungeons and Dragons before, so you will probably not be interested in some of the topics tonight. But there's this D&D movie coming out, and Mike actually is the guy who brought me into playing Dungeons and Dragons. I had never played it before, and about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 9 months ago, got me into a couple games. We're playing 2 different ones right now. One, I guess, is not technically D&D. It's Pathfinder. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun. So I wanted... Yeah, it's what? It's 3.5 edition, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So I guess... were you at all interested in watching the movie? Do you think you might watch it?
If I can find it using alternative methods, I would probably watch it. I will not
like going over to like a neighbor's house and watching it on his DVD.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I meant.
Good, yeah.
Or if I back out of my driveway and I hear a crunch and I look and it's a DVD case and I open it up and it's still okay, I'll check it out.
Good. Yeah, I always support. Going over to a friend's house, watching a movie together. It's Zach, you know what we're talking about. Us. You're Canadian, very friendly people, very neighborly, right?
Yeah.
It's always about bringing people together around the TV, right?
What is it called? Honor Among Thieves.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You guys aren't going to get the cell phone version that nobody's going to make because nobody wants to see this movie. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I
know.
I was pleasantly surprised. I had zero interest to see it. I read some of the articles. I was telling my wife that it was going to be trash, and my wife and her friend, they were like, "Oh, we want to go see it." And then I had the opportunity to go see it, so I got 2 tickets. I went to go with my wife. And she really liked it to the point where she's probably going to see it again while it's in theaters with her friend.
Really?
Well, yeah. I think that's more the point I was making because I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But they didn't do a very good job of advertising or creating hype or doing anything to make people want to see it.
Terrible job.
They did really bad.
I have seen I've almost seen no trailers for this. The only attention that I saw were the negative articles about it.
Well, interestingly enough, it's got to be so bad because it's not even on certain websites that would have it available.
Well, that's what I was trying. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Mike. Is like making the joke with the cell phone video. It's like nobody seems to care. Like it's like
it's not there.
Okay, D&D came out. Like it's like I don't know. It's like nobody cares.
Well, it does. It's not technically out yet.
Yeah, I don't think it is. It's in the. It was in the
the
trailers for
31st.
John Wick.
Was it?
The trailer run before John Wick 4.
I may go see Wick tomorrow. We'll see if I get time, but I want
Well,
to see that.
we'll have to hear Zach's take on that. Which, speaking of Zach's, thank you for coming on. You and I have actually, I think we said that we were going to have to stream at some point after I went to Spain as well. So if there's some time tonight, we'll finally have a little conversation about our Spanish trips. And
sounds good.
I still don't speak a lick of Spanish. I don't know about you. So perfect.
No, I forgot Spanish. I'm sure. Yeah,
Spanish should speak English. Come on.
But I do appreciate you coming on. We had you on as a guest a super long time ago doing the rewatch, and we wanted to get you back on. You're a great guest, so thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on. The D&D trailer ran before John Wick, and that's the most excited I've been for that movie because it was just a trailer that made it look like a fun D&D movie, and that's all I really wanted. And
which trailer did you get?
It was the one with with the what's the chest called? Man, I can't remember now.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yes, Michelle Rodriguez. Yes, yeah.
That was perfect. That was
that was well done.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You know what?
I feel like the first trailer was like that though. I didn't feel like the first, like the very, very, very first one, like the first came out. I didn't feel like it was like wow. It was like, okay, well, let's see what this looks quirky. Maybe this will be okay. Maybe it's just a fun romp through fantasy. I don't know.
Did you get the voiceover one though, where was it Chris Pine was kind of saying, like, narrating essentially the trailer?
Would you? I don't know if it was Chris Pine or not, but they made reference to like the bald wizard, and it wasn't focused on making fun of Chris Pine. The trailer wasn't focused on that. I don't know if the movie's focused on that or not, but the advertising made it seem like that's what the movie was about. But
there was one trailer in there that did for sure.
Yeah. And this didn't do that. And even though it looked like it had lots of moments that reminded me of reading D&D manuals. Just like the images they gave you was well played out that way, and that was well planned. And they should have done that from the very beginning, I think. And because I went and saw the original one, which was horrible, with Jeremy Irons back in the day.
God, it was 1998 or something.
Yeah. Old
I went to the theater to see that one. And
I have not seen that movie. I have heard nothing but terrible things about it.
Oh yeah, it's awful. How do you feel any confidence of being able to show the trailers?
I have a question.
You think they would be upset about that?
Yeah, you know what? Let me try. You guys, yeah. That's not a terrible idea. Let me work on that for a second here.
I can't even get a good idea. It's like, well, it's not the worst idea ever.
It's called a mimic. It's called a mimic. The treasure chest. That's a
mimic.
monster. It's a mimic.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, not Michelle Rodriguez. Sorry.
No, but she is in it, and but she wasn't the focus of the trailer. At least this one. I'm sure she could be a fine character. But John Wick was great.
Yeah, I can't wait to see.
So, okay, what you got to tell us what is left for them to do with John Wick? That was my concern when they first kind of came out with it.
He's got to kill everybody. That's it.
Nothing.
Just that's it. Just kill everybody.
Yeah.
What they did was in this movie, it was like they crammed together two movies because it was 3 hours long, and it felt like it could have been two movies. The way that they had it, but they did kind of put it all together, and it was nonstop action almost the entire time. But they did introduce other characters you could continue on with if John Wick ages out of the role, like because he did. I have to say, like, as much as I love Keanu, and he's Canadian, so yay. But he's starting to look his age and some of the ways he moves, like not with the combat that was still really tight, but especially him running. I talked to my wife, she liked it as well. He runs like Sylvester Stallone runs, like those.
He's got that.
My knees are shot run.
Well, he's got his knee problem too, so he has a knee problem. So it's probably just getting worse and worse and worse. I would think.
Sai's got that thing now where, like, when he moves his head, he's got to he's like really got to move his whole body,
Yeah.
Like I don't know if anyone saw what is it, King of Tulsa?
Tulsa King.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Which it's just like it's like he's in the Keaton.
Show,
it is.
right?
It's like he's in the Keaton bat suit. He's just like
yes.
It's like,
that's exactly what it is.
It's like what?
Yeah.
But they are doing the Continental show, so maybe that's why they're introducing all these characters.
They introduced Mr. Nobody, who I thought, like when I first heard the character, I thought that might be a reference to the Mr. Nobody movie that they did, because it's the same. There's been rumors it could be the same universe because it's the same director that Chad Stahelski did the one with Better Call Saul guy. And
Kevin fell asleep during John Wick 3. Okay, that I don't understand that. Sorry, I was looking through chat. I was so blown away by that.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
So they introduced this Mr. Nobody, who's not that same character, but cool concept for the character. Donnie Yen is in it. He's great in that movie. So there's other characters that you could build out from, maybe for the TV show. But yeah, he's starting to look old. As much as I love him,
I think that's fair.
And they killed a lot of people.
Hey, Mike.
He killed the sand.
If I screen share YouTube, there's not going to be any sound going through, is there?
Usually there's a little check mark. You just check mark box, share audio.
What are we sharing?
You do like your Chrome tab.
Share screen. Okay.
The Reporter's warning you.
There's like another tab. I think it says like share window or something. Then you can do.
Reporter did what?
Yeah, I'll give it a try. We'll see. You guys tell me whether or not we're getting any audio on this. I'll play it for a second here.
Yes.
What is that?
Okay, so for reference, this guy over on the left, Paladin, Barbarian back here, Bard. Although we had a conversation in the Discord, doesn't actually do any like magic. So maybe a high charisma rogue or something. You got a druid over here, and then I think probably a sorcerer. If you're thinking classes, he's like a bloodline kind of magic user, so that would make him a sorcerer. Super fat dragon.
It's a dead end! Save it!
Okay, what he's carrying right there, you guys can tell me whether or not this is a appropriate kind of lore item. He called it a wand, a hither thither wand. It's the damn portal gun. So for those of you guys watching Picard, it's
so we gun. Stole more from Portal. Why? What man? Portal needs to sue everybody. like Val needs to sue everybody. My God.
I will say though, they in like typical like actual kind of good D&D fashion. It's not like they use it in creative ways. So it's not just like open. They don't do the Androl from Wheel of Time where I just open up in like lava and then drop lava on all of my enemies.
Just don't play it too long. More for the music than the video. Emporio's right. They're playing Zeppelin, so just be careful. Just because you don't monetize doesn't mean they won't shut you down.
Maybe I'll just mute it. Maybe I'll just mute it just to make sure.
Good idea.
I think that's better.
Yeah.
Because
All right, so they're running away from this big dragon. He's got the portal. See, bam.
Yeah. Oh yeah, portal gun.
And then
poor
jumps
Valve.
In, bam.
Poor Valve getting their ideas stolen.
So this is in Neverwinter.
Okay.
That's red mage, right? Morrowind.
Red mist.
There is the infamous owlbear that everybody got their panties in a real wad about, which I will admit that my initial take on this was I feel like just because a normal character can't generally turn into something that is an abomination or a I guess that's not the right word, right? It's I don't know, help me out, whatever the
What's
thing.
an owl?
Because it's not a natural.
Yeah,
monstrous. Thank you. It's not a natural creature.
What's wrong with the owl bear?
Steve would be the one to talk to because World of Warcraft, the druids can turn into owlbears.
Well, sort of. Boom chickens.
Yeah. Well, that's an owlbear.
Boom chicken,
Yeah, you're
owlbear.
right.
Because in the wild, they're called owlbears.
So
and
what's
they're
what's
kind
the
of-
big problem with the owl bear? Like, I don't understand.
Because it's monstrous. Druids are supposed to be like wild
Yeah.
shape. They turn into nature things because their
Yeah,
magic is
now
based on
owl bear
natural
sounds
affinity.
pretty naturey. It's a
I-
bear
I will
and an
say-
owl in nature.
I mean, people got kind of, they got kind of upset about the rule of cool stuff. It is pretty cool. It looks really good. Like they did a good job with the effects.
But see,
that gives a lot of points.
So let's just see what they're stealing from. So they stole the portal gun. So why not steal
Mhm.
from another video game where druids turn into owl bears? There you go.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the thing that I took was, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong here. Mike and Zach's are a lot more experienced than I am. That just because your character can't generally do it doesn't mean that somebody couldn't make a character that could do that. Like it could be an item or a perk or something you get on a campaign or a quest that like gives you access to things that normally wouldn't be the case. You could have developed a specific affinity for this one monster during a previous quest or something like that. I mean, all of that sounds.
So wait. So this isn't the druid. It's natural in the wild. Is that
No, this is the druid, right?
Yeah.
so? What's the
Yeah.
problem? I don't understand what the
Here,
problem is.
I'll just keep playing.
Druids
a little
can't
bit.
do that.
We'll
That
talk
was
about
the
it.
back in the, at least like when I played it, and I haven't played it since I think 3.5. They couldn't turn into owl bears. Like it had to be an animal, basically. Like
Yeah.
it couldn't do dragons. Like it couldn't be anything that's supernatural in any way. It was just you were already supernatural enough as a druid. You could become an animal, and usually, like basically, you're going to be a bear most times.
Yeah. And I will say the druid turns into lots of animals. So it's not like she just turns into owlbears. Again, this chick here.
Yeah.
Here's the Sun Games is what they called this. There's the mimic, the chest.
Mimic. Yeah.
Bad stuff happened to that person. More bad stuff.
Midget barbarians. So Michelle Rodriguez is the barbarian.
Yes.
She's really small. Isn't
So,
Interesting.
well,
Right.
I mean, barbarians, their physical size isn't necessarily that critical, right? So they're going on little side quests to gather, various kind of MacGuffins is sort of what's happening here. So they're looking for a helmet. They're looking for some other stuff. He's got a little talisman that he got from a cleric that can awaken dead to ask them questions.
Does
Yeah.
does he refer to himself as tree kind at all in the show? I just want to know. Since he's tree kind, right? Sorry. Sorry.
So he's a half elf. She's a tiefling. I think her backstory is basically got abandoned by her parents and taken in by the elves.
Was that a displacer beast in the? Did they ever explain what the monsters are?
No.
Okay.
Those were all in the Sun Games, and various monsters were brought in to yeah. A lot of the stuff that kind of happens in it. So this little thing here, honestly, this part, was just a sort of joke. They go through this. They ask this guy stupid questions. He dies because they can only ask him so many questions, and then they have to dig up a whole bunch more corpses. It's kind of a bit, but it actually isn't, completely worthless. So this is the druid falling and changing. Yeah, druid's changing into a bunch of different things there. There's the paladin fighting a. Oh, there you go. There's the portal. So the portal was put on an object, and they use the object. Big dragon made out of stone. There you go. So that's the trailer. Without the sound, sorry guys. I think it was a good point that probably would have gotten us booted for Zeppelin.
But you liked it.
Yeah, so here's the thing that I will say. So the owlbear thing I think is probably the worst that it does in terms of lore, at least that I noticed or detected. The thing that I think the only other thing that I really noticed and picked up on was they kind of fast traveled everywhere. So things that were around in the Sword Coast kind of area that were fairly far away, they got to like in a day or like half a day or something like that, which was kind of like an unforced error, like they could have just given themselves a longer timeline and then like done more montages, so it's always funny when movies make that mistake of like, that your audience, or at least some part of your audience, are a bunch of nerds. Like you can't do the Rings of Power thing of like, we're on this island and then 6 seconds later we're 17,000 miles away. Like you're never going to get away with it, Yeah, exactly. So they kind of did that too. And they don't show the map during the travel, which I think actually was better. If you're going to show the map, you have to like live in the rules of the map. Right. If you're not going to show the map, you can trust that like a very small percentage of your audience is going to hear the name of where they went and do the mental calculation of like, wait a second, Neverwinter to this place in a day. You're killing me. So they just kind of like went. So that'll probably get people's bear. Like there would be some people who won't like that. But the party mechanics, there were a lot of like roll 20, roll 1 sort of like scenarios that happened where you're like, okay, like if this is my play group, I've like, yes, I get this. This is a thing that happens. And so they got, I think, a lot of the dynamics of playing a campaign pretty well, from the setup to the quest to the party formation to the collection of like side quests and items to figure your way out through the campaign and the dungeon, and then like the showdown with the boss. Everybody's kind of like developing and doing stuff along the way. Nobody's left out. They kept the cast the right size, I think. So there's really only the 4 main party members, and they did a good job with bringing the paladin in and one other character as kind of like temporary companions, because you could showcase that character. The paladin, they do a really good job at. They actually like I think they nail the paladin and the paladin's dynamic with the bard and the barbarian pretty well. But they didn't have to keep him around the whole time.
Right.
So they could have him be like a level 20 paladin who just comes in and just wrecks stuff and then leave.
What level would you say the group was?
Okay. Mainly because of the like level of the perceived threat of their final boss. Like they'd have to be pretty high level. But also like, because the bard doesn't do any magic, he plays some music and there's some morale boosting effects of that. I guess you could give him that, but because he doesn't do magic, it was hard for me to tell what level he might be. Super high charisma doing stuff. That was good. The druid seems to be a very high level druid. The sorcerer seems to be at least a middle to high level sorcerer, and the barbarian beats face of like 8 or 9 bad guys like all at once. So pretty solid barbarian. So I would say, middle to high level party. The paladin was definitely like maxed out. So yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was a fun watch as somebody who's familiar with D&D but is not a super big lore expert is probably what I can say.
I played a paladin for a long time in AD&D, and
that's what I'm doing.
To have a paladin in AD&D, the stats you have to even be able to be a paladin are high enough that you're already going to wreck shop, and then tack onto that the paladin, the chaotic evil bonuses, and get your hands on a holy avenger, and it's like that has to be a whole other thing to get to. You can't start with that, but they're like tanks.
He seems like he might have a might have a holy sword.
Okay.
he's definitely got some pretty sweet gear. And yeah, honestly, the paladin, I really appreciate it as somebody who also has played kind of your lawful good paladin. I think they did a pretty good job there. Also, they nailed the fact that the rest of the party was generally annoyed by the paladin.
That's how it has to be.
that he's okay, I'm gonna give away one joke about him. So he's like leaving the party and he's walking off, and the bard is talking to the other guy, like, and he's just watching him, and he's going in like a perfectly straight line, and he's making this joke about like he even walks in straight lines. Like, are you kidding me with this guy? Right? Where did you find him? Like, and I won't ruin all of the jokes from that scene, but like that's kind of the general setup. And I was like, damn. The next time that we come to like some sort of a maze or whatever, I'm gonna have to just like go
in a straight line. Yeah.
So it was pretty fun. Like I said, my wife laughed pretty much the whole time, but it wasn't like a comedy. Like it gave breathing room to the action and other stuff. So
having a paladin in the group is amazing, especially when you're not the paladin and you get to play off the paladins. Like Pips is our party leader. And
I need to do better is what I learned from this movie.
And so I like to take the opportunity to do the exact opposite that he says, so that like I'm a chaotic neutral character. And so he'll be like, okay, so we're going to go into this room. We're going to do this. And I just open the door and walk in. And then I hear him just like, what? No. It's back when Dane was playing too. And between the two of them, they'd get so pissed at me. So I charge in, start swinging swords.
Dane was pretty frequently frustrated with me. A, because I was a new player. B, because he was trying to play the sort of neutral, alignment bard. And I was like, we can't kill this prisoner. And then one of them would just walk up and be like, I stabbed him in the throat. It's like
you I remember I actually watched some of your game stuff because I remember you playing and you retreated and like right away. I'm like, no, these guys are toast. You're gonna destroy them like as a paladin. But you were playing as a person who didn't know like how amazing a paladin really is at first. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Anyway,
but Pips can't roll anything but 1s and 2s.
That is true. When I first started playing, I rolled absolute shit. I joked about having to invest in the blind fighting perk because I was clearly blind. But yeah. So anyway, there was the trailer. I think we got to switch it up to do some Wheel of Time stuff because Steve is like,
I'm dealing with these. That's all good. No, I understand what you're saying. I just never played it. Like,
I think the biggest thing about this movie is it's Wizards of the Coast, and that's a problem if they're benefiting from this in any way, because I really can't stand them as a company. Redbox, attaboy.
I fully agree with what you're saying. That is actually the number one reason that I was originally not going to see it. I've been a Magic the Gathering player for a long time, and I haven't bought anything from the last 3 years worth of sets because of what they've been doing.
It's hard. It's hard because they're doing that now. There's action figure Dungeons and Dragons, action figures, and GameStop, and all over the place. It's like we have Dungeon. Why don't we just throw up product? We got to use this IP. It's like, oh god, here we go.
Mike's got the whole collection.
When Mike has a really good collection, to be honest. Here, if you got more stuff, I can highlight you.
He was quizzing me. He was like, "Why aren't we playing 5e?" And I'm like, "Wizards of the Coast."
I just asked what the differences were. I had previously heard that they unsurprisingly went super woke and trashy with their.
Oh yeah, that's it.
This is the one we play.
Yeah,
nice.
I only have the digital copies of these because I have not been playing these games nearly as long.
Legends and Lore. Nice. The obvious thing most people are going to say about this is
you can leave it minimized. I think we can see it pretty good.
DM's good.
Nice. The art on those is actually pretty solid. Thanks for showing those.
Yeah,
I don't think I had seen a lot of the covers because again, I just have kind of the PDFs of some of them.
Got all of these.
Those are all the fighter the class guides,
the individual class guides, and race guides. You can see there. Thief. I'm playing a thief right now. I'm actually playing a Kinku thief, which has been a dream of mine forever. So our DM has been very nice to let me do that.
Nice.
I remember those partially because they would often refer to each other to get you to buy the other books.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I couldn't afford them often, or if you couldn't find them because we had 2 gaming stores in my city, and that's it. Oh, there you go.
I think Kevin Adams actually might have made the comment here that's going to lead us into maybe our first Wheel of Time conversation here, because it's sort of related to casting, which is something we can talk through.
That's cool.
Mike,
Ooh.
I guess, and Steve, if he's still here, I think I heard him say
I'm here.
boo.
This
so
This
he
is
must
yeah.
have-
this is the Greyhawk.
That's it.
The Greyhawk map. Greyhawk was my
Nice.
first map.
Have you
Sorry,
guys
I'm
all heard of the Shiriam casting?
Thank God. Thank God we have Shiriam.
No.
Oh my! Thank
So-
goodness we have.
So
Obviously-
I have a real question for you guys on this. I'm just going
need
to
her?
throw this out there.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just going to throw this out there. All the announcements that I've seen for this is like, oh, we finally know who Shiriam is going to be for season 2, right?
Yeah, which is my like. Sorry, go ahead.
Is
but
it-
Yeah.
Isn't season 2 like? Why aren't we seeing season 2? Why are we hearing that like a minor B character has been cast?
You're being
What
generous.
is happening?
I think it's more of a D tier character. She's not about. I wouldn't put her up at minor
In the future,
B.
I'm giving her like in
Maybe
future plots. She
Maybe C.
Okay, well,
For
now
me.
we're just talking about cup size.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, they announced her. I don't know, Mike, Zax, have you guys seen anything about this or not?
No. The first
So,
I've heard of it.
Can I just be honest? Because I saw the picture first, and my reaction wasn't. Finally, we have a Shiriam. Because who cares? My reaction was, oh, finally we know who they cast this person wrongly as, because it's completely incorrect and wrong.
Look at the rack on that chick.
That's not.
So I just want to say that this one over here on the right, I just
Yeah,
want
she
to
could have been.
is not actually book accurate either.
No.
So
no.
Shiriam is described as being like, yeah, kind of pretty, fiery red hair, green eyes. She's supposed to be attractive. I think she's described as slightly plump, but
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
used to be thin, but like a little plump, whatever.
You should see it right there. The picture's right in the middle of the screen, Zach.
I see it
I know.
now.
We're,
I saw it now.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, at least that
But
was sort of close.
Wow.
Like, who? But again, I reiterate, who cares? It's Shiriam. Like, why do we care? No, go ahead.
Well, I'm just pointing out. I'm just pointing out
know,
that
I know.
the fan casting for previous years was like this, right? Which
That's way too
she
hot.
looks like she
Way too
has
hot.
a great personality,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and
hot.
this is
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
like. You guys see the similarity, right?
I do,
Like,
100%.
it's like I'm looking at the same person and just
Yeah. Oh, Al Dad nails it, man. She doesn't look a year over 20, does she? Ageless. Look at that ageless look on her.
Got an observation to make on that picture.
Which
Yeah.
one?
How
you
come
want me to bring it back up?
if you would like, but
Yeah.
torture people. How
Half boob?
how is it that I feel that I can ascertain her politics just by looking at that photo?
Yeah, that's true. I thought you were talking about the half boob picture. I thought you wanted to bring that one back up.
Well, you
The one
could.
with the
That would
half
be
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
be better.
just-
Yeah, the half. There you go. The
There you
half
go.
boob.
Just-
That's better.
for
Even though that's not
like
her.
scientific reasons. Just
Yes.
I mean, she's
That
got
does help.
glasses. She's probably smart. So
Like-
yeah. Oh man.
it's like
Yeah,
they
there you go.
deliberately
Gadfly.
miscast everybody.
I think you're 100% right there, Mike. Like, yeah, it's like they do it intentionally. I think they have to be doing it intentionally, right? Like
Yeah.
a broken clock is right twice a day, as the saying goes, right? And they seem like they either find actors and actresses that are not attractive, or they take attractive actors and actresses and make them unattractive. It's crazy.
Well, I think so. Okay, so I think
And yes, Aldan, you're right.
I shared the picture so you don't have to. It's a little bit better picture. So not that we need to see her any better, but I think the most egregious thing about this whole thing, and I know I'm an asshole. I don't care. Oh, I have to bring it up. Does that work? I don't know the rules of melon. I don't know the melon rules. The thing that the most so first it's the fake excitement over Shiriam Sadai, which nobody cares about Shiriam Sadai. She's a weasel.
100%.
And whatever. So nobody cares about Shiriam. So we know. So that's number one. Number two, this was announced. You could probably go into the Wheel of Time series website. This character, this actress was announced like a year ago as being cast. And we all sort of speculated like, oh, hey, this could maybe be Varen. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. So it's like, so now probably about 4 months after the show should already be done with its run through, we're now being told who this person that they announced a year ago is going to be playing in the season that should be done.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
It's like, what are we doing? And then it's like, wow.
It is crazy when you put it that way. I think you're 100% right to frame it like that, because this stuff has been previously announced. If you were looking at, IMDb accounts for different actors and actresses and stuff like that, like they wrapped filming a year ago. Like Hollywood doesn't keep secrets this well. Like people have known about this for a long time, and they're just trying to like push one more little crumb out there, try and feed the 3 fans that they have on Twitter of time. And
think about it this way: any show that you actually like, you don't pay attention to who's cast for what until it's out. Then you find out, oh, the show I want to see is out now. Oh, it's on. Okay, I'll go check it out. Oh, that person's playing this. Oh, okay. And then you get to see them in the role. Do you like them for the role or not? Do they fit the role?
Yeah, June 15th, 2022 was when they first showed her picture on something. I think.
I want to take it further than Steve did, because I think that's not far enough. You don't have to announce this casting. Forget the character. I don't know. I've never seen this person before. You could find her at any neighborhood bake sale. She's not an actress who anyone's heard of. This is not Helen Mirren.
Rafe Judkins' grandmother.
She's just an old lady.
Yeah,
she's just saw her on an episode
totally
of
right.
Hoarders.
So why even announce it? If it's a nobody that no one's ever seen before, who is nothing special, she doesn't add anything to production. Like she's not a name or a face anyone recognizes. So why even announce it?
That's every actor. That's every announcement they make for this show.
But on top of that, it's not even an actor. It's not even it would be different if it was like a big time character. Like it was like, oh my god, this is Lanfear they just like showed, and it's some nobody actress. Like thank God it's not like, oh my god, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Wait a second, if it was you guys heard it. Lanfear confirmed. Not this week.
Oh, yeah. Jesus. Yeah, no, thank you. But so Zach is absolutely right. Not only is it a nothing character to get excited about, it's a nobody actress. So it's like, so who cares?
What are you announcing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just
like,
remember us? We're making a show. Don't forget us.
Yeah. I don't think I'd really thought about it the way that Zach's kind of phrased that. But I think you're right that Mike, I can't think of the last time that I saw acting announcements for shows in general. Like it is kind of a weird thing now that I think about it. And Zach, you're also right that it's never no one's. It's always like, here's A-list act. We got Henry Cavill for The Witcher.
Right.
And people are like,
yes.
yeah.
But
instead it's like, here's this guy.
Well, I mean, it's like they're trying to fool your brain into thinking that it's filling some huge role in the story. Shiriam has been cast. It's like, who cares? It's like,
yeah.
And on top of it, it's somebody we've never seen before. It's the fact that it's somebody that you haven't seen before, we're supposed to be like, oh, they cast this big character, I guess. So it's doubly worse because Zach is right. It's like, who cares? And then it's like, for somebody that we don't care about. So it's like, great. So what? So thank you for wasting 10 seconds of my life.
They'll have some sort of a post or an article or a tweet talking about who's going to take care of her 35 cats while she's doing the
Well,
show.
yeah, and her 5 owls because I guess she was, holding owls or something. I don't know.
That's
But
true. Season 1's problem was the wig budget. Season 2 is going to be the cat budget.
Season 3 is the fact they have to rebuild every set again. Is that what season 3's problem is? That everything is being rebuilt from the ground up.
Oh man!
And no offense to
I'm
old
still
lady if
blown
you're
away by that.
watching.
Yeah. It's not her fault.
Yeah,
It's
not
her
that there's
fault.
anything
Not her
wrong
fault.
with that.
No. It's
Your
not
entire
her
house
fault.
smells like cat urine. You're nose deaf.
Dude,
but
she probably
it's fine.
good on her for getting that money. I mean, that's fine. But I mean, I don't know.
All right, Thumb, you might have to tell us what Dane's theory about her owl is, and hopefully it's YouTube appropriate.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
So some of the people have brought up here, season 2's issues. Gadfly was like, yeah, they don't have anything interesting, so they're pushing this stuff, right? A couple of people have said the same thing. There actually was no, you know what? Now that I think of it, it's more season 1 shit, right? So it's a deleted scene from a show that still came out a year and a half ago. I guess
shit is the proper terminology. Yeah.
So I was going to say they actually had something happen this week, but realistically, it's the same exact thing. They had nothing, and so they just kind of I'll just leave this, this sort of turd, kind of put that on the toilet seat for you.
This is such a weird phenomenon. Where season 2 should be out, and we're getting more news on season 1 and season 3. It's what happened to the thing in the middle? It's what is happening? It is so weird.
So David brings up what has been a theory that we've kind of discussed before. There are at least a few rumors in sort of industry adjacent groups that's exactly what happened. Was that they finished early sort of post-production work. They had some first drafts and they showed it to Amazon executives, and it was so bad that even Jennifer Salk was oh dear God.
So how bad is that bad? How bad? Because we all saw season 1. We all saw The Peripheral.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we all saw The Peripheral, but
we saw Rings of Power.
We saw Rings. How bad does it have to get for them to go, oh man, no, we got to reshoot this. This is really bad.
You had House of the Dragon come out. You had House of the Dragon come out, so they saw what kind of good storytelling was about. They had Rings of Power, and they saw the production value was at least twice as good as theirs was. They have to at least try to catch up. Now, I'm not saying good, Steve. I see your face. I'm not saying they're good. I'm saying the bar is really low.
Better.
Yes.
It's better.
Well, I'll meet you halfway with not Rings of Power. Oh my God! Wow, strike that with House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon was enjoyable on many levels. But the other one.
My operating theory.
By comparison, though, Wheel of Time is the worst show I've ever seen.
I think that's
really bad.
That's fair.
That's right, Mike. Because that's right. The comparison, because it's become the basis or the touchstone or the measuring stick for other bad shows. Is it as bad as Wheel of Time, or it's as bad? It's a given. You don't even have to describe why it's bad. You just is it as bad as this?
Well,
and that's how people.
Is it?
It is true.
Know.
You're you're talking
Wheel
about
of
Willow,
Time
and you're
bad.
is it?
Yes. Is it as bad as Wheel of Time?
Yeah. It's
yes.
Can I give it a 1? Wheel of Time. I'll give it a 2. It's a little better than that. Steven.
All right. If you guys want to hear my going theory on what was so bad that they had to reshoot and rework season 2, it's that all of our predictions were correct. That Rafe Judkins' personal sex rack makes an appearance in season 2.
Of course he does.
Poor Joshua,
and I think
Joshua is
it's
still down there in that basement, tied to that thing. Dude, we've talked about it. I still find it hilarious that
he read the books, so they locked him in.
After he told everybody he finished with all 14 books, he has disappeared. He is gone. It's how is that a coincidence? That can't be a coincidence. The last thing he said is, "I just finished reading all 14 books." It's we better shut this guy up.
The only character from this show that's more gone than him right now is friggin' Matt Cawthon.
Mm.
The old one or the new one?
Yes,
Oh my god!
yes, yeah.
Oh boy.
But anyway, yeah, that's my theory is that Rafe Judkins is a Hitchcock fan, and so he personally was in season 2 with his sex rack with Joshu, and Jennifer Salke is like, oh god, I'm gonna get so fired.
Well, Rafe's boyfriend is in 4 episodes of season 1.
Yeah.
Maxim, he's in
He
4
has-
episodes.
He might have more speaking lines that pass sort of the Bechdel test than Rand.
Probably. Yeah.
He talks about his boy toy, so he has lines that are talking about other men.
Definitely more than Matt.
Oh well, yeah. Matt, yeah, they did Matt dirty. All right,
Yeah.
we're stalling because nobody wants to watch this. But are you guys
Oh,
ready? This is the
man.
treat that they've given us. This is the treat that they've given us.
One of 2. I'm just glad you're not making us watch the first deleted scene again because we watched
Well, you
part
did
of that.
a whole thing on that. That one was
Ugh.
honestly, I think that one there was a lot more meat on that bone. This one was like on one hand it's terrible,
Wait a second.
but it's
There's
also
more meat on
nothing.
the bone in the sauna. Talking about how great and pouring paint in the sauna and saying how great Egwene is.
Yeah,
Like
this
that was
is
scene 1.
Yeah, but this is like okay. Well, hey, chat, you'll have to tell us. Chat, you'll have to tell us.
I have not seen this, so I'm seeing it for the first time.
Yes, you have, Mike. You
I have
have.
not.
You just don't know you have. It's basically
Okay.
it's season 1 encapsulated in 5 seconds. Sorry.
If for whatever reason you guys want to watch this without the watermark on it, I'm probably still going to pause it just a couple times just to make sure. It's I think it's only on Twitter. I don't even think that they posted it to
Nothing.
Yeah,
Nowhere.
it's
You can't-
it's
you
just
can't
on
find it.
Twitter. So
Literally,
here it is.
It came out. Nobody cared. It's crazy how much nobody cared.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't kill yourself, Tam.
Am I the only person who thought that like that fake? It's got to be a fake beard, right?
I don't
On
know.
Tam. I don't know. I always thought it looked
Too
really
early for breakfast?
Never too early for your mum's bread.
Is that slang?
He left before I woke.
This face. This is why I got the thumbnail, guys. This is the face of an actor who's considering his career.
Dude, Rand totally hit and run, bro.
Also, damn, good point. What a Chad move.
She loved you, you know, my wife.
Of course,
Do you remember it?
everyone loves you.
Everyone loves you.
I remember her eyes,
Yeah, of course you do.
so blue just like Rand's.
Wrong color.
Her hair was red like his.
When your mum and dad
Oh my god.
Her hair, sure, yeah. Her eyes and hair match.
were rebuilding the inn after the
I have a
fire,
question. real quick.
they sent you up mountain.
Mike's got a question.
Okay.
I got a question.
yeah.
Somebody help me. How does she remember Rand's mom? Rand
Yes.
being older does not remember
Yes.
Rand's mom, his own mom.
Yeah. Great question. I thought the same exact thing that Rand barely
who's
remembered his
Rand
mom,
again?
right?
She's amazing. That's how-
I thought this
Steve
was
has
the
the
egg-
answer.
I thought this was
Tells
I thought this
Rand.
was the Egwin love show, wasn't it? Like, wait a second, hold on.
But did you guys hear the last line?
Wait, it's gray. Their eyes are gray.
Yes.
Just
yes.
say gray. Why does it have to be blue? Like, just you can't
Because
even
the
get that
books
shit
because
right.
the book said blue, and it's very Aryan and racist of you to notice. Sorry, the book
Yes,
said
it
gray.
is.
I confused myself.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you
like
hear the
gray.
last line that he said though here?
No.
What?
Okay,
Are you pregnant?
I'll
Oh no,
play
he
it.
didn't say that.
They sent you up mountain to stay the summer with us. And you'd
dang it.
When your mum and dad were rebuilding the inn after the fire, they sent
After the fire.
You guys remember that time when the Wine Spring Inn burned down after a fire?
What?
I think they watched their episode. I think that's what happened. Is remember when Moraine burned down
What are they
the wine
talking about?
screen?
Burned down after fire. Why are they making
Moraine.
dumb shit up? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was a much better show.
Yes.
Brian. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Sent you up mountain to
He wishes
stay
he'd
the
come
summer
back
with
to
us.
that.
And she'd spend all day with you. Playing with you, holding
Fuck
you,
Rand.
as if you were her very own daughter.
Because she wanted a girl, not this piece of shit boy over
You must
here.
miss her so much.
How
Like,
dare
what-
you bring this boy back with you?
Like, how dare you? I always wanted a girl. Oh, Egwene is here. Put that thing in the corner. We don't care about the guy. I don't even want to touch that thing because I don't want him to remember my face at all. Put it in the corner. Oh, Egwene. Oh.
Everybody puts Baby Rand in the corner.
Oh my God. What color are Rand's eyes
I do.
again? He doesn't have eyes, does he? I broke them out.
Of course I do.
You must miss your dead wife, right? Yes.
But there's something about death that's clean. Final.
That was a good face, Sax.
And a clean cut, even if it's 3 times as deep, will always heal better than something ragged. Something messy and raw.
Why is he blinking so much?
You have his heart in your hand.
Wait a second. Does anyone know Morse code? Is he being held
Help
there
me.
against his will?
Help! Why am I here against my will? Payday.
Go.
Payday not enough.
Be gentle with it. Is all I have.
He's crying too! He's crying too! Why are they all crying? Every one of them are crying. Every scene they are crying. Why? Why is
It's,
Oh, man.
it's so bad.
He's crying. It's a
So-
Tam out Thor. This is Tam out
He-
Thor.
There's no one's ever talked like that. No one has a conversation like that. She comes over, says
wait,
good
wait.
morning, and he just dumps all this. It's just exposition about how great she is.
Oh,
Are you
It's-
saying
Mhm.
that you don't think it's believable for a man to use the story about his dead wife
No.
to tell his
trying to-
son's girlfriend to
Yeah.
break up with his son?
Tam is clearly trying to fuck her. All right, like he's trying really hard. Like, I don't know. Like, Dax nails it right on the head. The whole and they removed it, thank God. But the whole point of that scene is another fucking reason why they're telling you how great Egwene is great.
They're just
Everybody
telling
should
us
love
that.
Egwene.
Yep.
It
Random
is. I mean,
tears.
not only that, it literally is telling about people loving Egwene. They're people who aren't on camera and are dead still have to love Egwene.
Well, Mike brings up
The
a great
most.
point. It's like, you remember my wife who wasn't your mom when you were a baby? Like, I remember her eyes. No, you don't. You're lying. You're lying. You're a baby. Like,
It's also the age because they've aged them up. It makes it even
Yeah.
worse. Like you could see having a sort of a weird conversation like that, maybe with a younger kid who's still upset, but no, she's like how old? Like how old is she supposed to be on the show? Would you say? Like
I
not the
think
book
they're
on the show.
all- I think they're all supposed to be like 20, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah, I was
weird
gonna say
because they
low
didn't
20s.
they didn't actually age up the main characters. The main characters start the story at like 19 or 20 years old,
Mhm.
and they're about 20 years old because I think they wanted them to be older, but they forgot to change the timeline for like how long Moraine has been
Mm.
searching.
Well, I
So,
think
like,
Egwene was supposed to be like 17. Rand was like 18.
yes.
Something
Well,
like that,
so Rand started, we know, at like 19 or 20 years old, right? Because the search was basically 20 years.
Oh, right. Okay.
But Egwene,
Yeah,
Egwene
yeah.
was supposed to be about 16 or 17. She was a few years younger. And so they aged her up and then emotionally aged all of them down to like, I don't know, like 7.
Well, you know what the highlight of that scene is the fact that I already said it. The fact that Rand
18.
didn't want to
okay.
put up.
Oh, damn.
Rand didn't want to put up with any of that post-coitus bullshit, and he's like, "I'm out of here. Like, get me the hell out of here. I'm done. I don't want
Yes.
to deal with the Egwene morning after. Like, he's gone."
Okay.
Yeah. So
God.
Salazar,
Who would-
how long after this series started did see Aldan saying Eggy was supposed to be 18 and Salazar?
Yeah, that
was
would have been about a year and a half to
A
2
year.
years into the story.
close to it.
depending on where in Saladar you're talking, but the whole thing only takes like 2.5, 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So okay, two interpretations. Super Chad move. He's like going to like hit his next girlfriend. So like he like already put it in Egwene, and now he's like going on down to one of the Coplans or the Congers, because they don't mind being sloppy seconds.
Especially in this show.
Second interpretation is he had we'll call a sort of a misfire kind of event, and in shame sneaks out in the middle of the night.
The dragon does not have misfires. Come on.
Well,
is he the dragon?
That's true. I would argue that he's not the dragon. That's the problem. Yeah. But you're right.
Well, a little spoon. That's where you have to go.
Tom Maryland has it.
I hate to bring this up. I hate to bring this up again. But if you remember the script, it was only using the digits on the ends of your hands that he got to use to begin with. He did not get to go all the way. So he's
only for her pleasure. So
and only for her pleasure.
Maybe he had to. No, we're not going to go too far into this, guys.
Don't go balls deep.
Oh boy,
no,
he didn't.
We can't.
That's for sure. No, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about that, right? Because it was the infamous hoof banging, because it was hands and hooves only. Oh goodness!
And she did not reciprocate. So
no, she definitely didn't. She
come on.
I like your theory. He's going off to see somebody else.
He's off to see Perrin, is where he is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, peeking through a window, right?
Well,
just heavy breathing on a window pane as he's watching Layla make weapons.
To be fair to poor Joshu here, right? Like, if you just got sort of blue-balled by Egwene, right?
Yeah.
Perrin is every time on camera is a open wet hole.
That's right.
So I mean, it's just hanging right open there.
You got to go fill it.
Boy,
Mike, that was too much for Mike. Gone. Mike's like, I'm out.
What man? At least cut it. That's all I can say about that. I guess, like, what a waste of time.
So what do you guys think other deleted scenes that will be treated to between now and 3 years from now when this season finally gets
Are there more? Like, I thought, did they say they were releasing 2?
I'm just saying that based on what we've seen, like, if you were to say this is Steve's headcanon of the deleted scene that we don't know about.
Okay, so we need somebody else to tell Egwene how good she is. So did we have Matt say it yet? So Matt tell it. Well, no, they sort of hate each other. So no.
Yeah.
Leandrin's gonna pull her aside and say, "You're almost as good as Nynaeve, but you don't do bubble magic." So maybe an Egwene Leandrin scene where they tell Egwene how great she is, or maybe they'll just have some scene like where the Whitecloaks are like, "Wow, you're a interesting one, young woman." And they don't know that they're telling her how good she is, but then, they tell her how good she is. And then the Tinkers will all, like, tell her how good she is.
It's just...
Loyal will like, run into her in the middle of the street. And, that'll be the original scene with Loyal. Will be them running into each other in the middle of Tarvalon. He'll run into her and she'll look up at him and be like, "Oh, you're an Ogier." It'll be like, "That's correct. How are you so brilliant? Nobody knew that I was an Ogier. You're amazing."
You must be Egwene I've been hearing about.
Exactly.
Egwene would walk up to Loyal and be like, "You're an Ogier. Definitely not an ogre like idiots would say."
Exactly. See, now you're dead.
Only stupid people would say that.
Now we're cooking with gas. All right.
It's like a wedding, how the bride gets toasted and the groom gets roasted. It's like they just pass around the mic and say nice things about Egwene. That's what it is. That's what the show is.
That's it. Or like maybe there's a scene in episode 8 where she unfreezes herself and like berates Rand for not making a decision that it's all about her. It's like, "This should be easy, Rand. I'm the best. Don't you know that? Come on."
Haven't you been listening?
Haven't you been listening, everybody? The whole episode is about me being great. Like, come on, watch it back.
Yep.
I think I don't know. Zax, do you have an idea? If you were thinking that there's another lurking deleted scene.
Oh. Well, it would have to be Nynaeve doing something awesome, right? Or being
we didn't
told
get enough of
she's
that.
going to do.
Yeah, there was this huge deficiency.
Or people, she's not there talking about how great she is. It's got to be something to balance that out, because I didn't pick up on that from the show at all.
Yeah,
like a scene, right? A scene where like the village council talks about like how screwed they're gonna be without their wisdom.
And this specific wisdom. Yeah. She's the best wisdom there's ever been.
And then cut to her tracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cut to her looking for Moiraine's tell. The question is she visually looking or is she sniffing? What do you guys think?
She's sitting there tasting shit. She's like, nope, that's not Moiraine shit. God. Nope, definitely not Moiraine shit.
There's something. Something's been sort of dripping in the. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Yours is going to be clean and wholesome, right?
Deleted scene. Okay, I don't even know. I would like to have seen Bail Domon. There's got to be a scene about him somewhere. That's the only thing I got.
I could see them like he was in Tarvalon, sure. Like just Bail Domon is the man in North Harbor. Yes.
Or
yes. We figured it out.
They were whistling in an inn together or something. They're like, oh hey, it was
or Moiraine crying, being consoled by Lan because Egwene's so much better than her.
See, there it is. In the hot tub, another hot tub, right? We gotta get the hot tub back.
All right, I'm gonna say I feel like the deleted.
I'm really bad at picking deleted scenes because I just don't know.
I thought yours was good. I actually kind of like the idea and might just make this my sort of headcanon now that Bail Domon is the man in North Harbor. That Bail Domon was probably giving it good to Leandra.
He do be giving it to Leandra good.
Oh, his aged grandmother. It could have been 10 more seconds of my son. What about my son?
So what my thinking would be is that Egwene and Aram definitely banged, and I think it had in the show off camera.
What?
There you go.
The deleted scene was another Egwene. She's just too good and beautiful. She's appreciated by everyone, and Aram was really appreciating her. Is what I think happened.
True.
Yeah. So there you go.
The actress who plays Egwene is 26. So by the time they finish this show, how old do you think she's going to be?
Oh, someone brought that up in a comment, and I think I made that as a tweet that really pissed some people off, actually, was that if they keep dropping these one every 2 years, so it'll be 16 years for their 8-episode run, or 8-season run, which God is like approaching the longest running shows ever, right?
Yes, so hopefully 27.
They are really adamant about how big of a success this show is going to be.
I like Aldan's answers, actually. Yeah. Right. 27. Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, man. I think Thumb is probably closer.
Like, it would be like, what if we got like some weird like message like Amazon Studios in Prague is burned to the ground and all records of all Wheel of Time shows have been burnt to a crisp and the show has been canceled. It's like, all right, Steve. All right,
Steve. Who's your list of suspects for the great Amazon Studios fire?
It was obviously Josh. He was trying to escape the basement.
I was gonna say every one of us is gonna have to turn over our passport and talk to the police.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think it's gonna be the call is coming from inside the house, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Man, I think is it Joshua? Man. It's Joshua, right? Not Joshua. Is it Joshua?
I thought it was Joshu or Yoshu
or I don't know. The poor guy that plays.
There's no A. Yeah, there's no A in it.
Yosh. or I don't know, whatever. Him. I feel bad
Aldan's
for
gonna
him.
have to. Yeah, where's your passport, Aldan?
Yeah.
After the Great Fire.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Josha. Okay.
Josha.
Josha.
Okay, so there's no
Josha.
you. All right, I knew that it
Josha.
wasn't Joshua. I knew that.
Yeah, I thought so. Josha. So yeah,
right.
that poor kid. Like I swear, man. Ever since like it's something weird. Like something like you guys think I'm crazy, but like he announced he finished the books and he's just gone. It's crazy.
Have you? I think I talked to you before. Like you've actually gone and like checked his Twitter account, right? Like has he literally posted nothing?
Oh,
Since then?
I haven't. Not me. No, that might have been Alex. Is a Twitter hound. It might have been him. I don't know. That would be even. Man, that would be even crazier.
What's his last name? Last name Josha.
Strato.
Yeah,
Stratos-
there we go.
STRADOWSKI.
Let's
Still trapped.
we're doing. We might as well.
Still trapped in Rafe's basement. Day 256. It's like, oh no! Stop tweeting.
Oh, there he is.
There's a lot of the Tiny Rick memes. I'm trapped. I'm trying to get out. This is not a joke.
Help! This one was just help.
He's 28.
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
boy.
So I don't know. I can't see a whole lot on this guy at all.
We're going to be in Luke Perry territory soon.
Well, I think he's trying to keep a low profile so that those of us who still watch the show, they don't realize his
Like a very low profile.
his tastes and partners.
Oh,
Don't want that to be out.
I don't really care.
I don't care either.
Yeah, I don't care if he's gay. Good for him.
he's
Well, I
super
mean,
gay.
his account says that he's a social media influencer and modeling. So like he can't have
straight.
this level of a like of a low profile, can he? Like
What is it? Is it barren? Like, is it like I haven't looked? Is it
nothing.
there's Nothing.
I-
He's
I gotta
literally
be-
disappeared. Oh my god!
I gotta be on like a fake. Like this has got to be like a
Oh
fake.
my god!
Like a fake
Save
fake
John.
account. I gotta check another one.
Thumb is right. Save Josha shirts. We got to get him out. Save him. Oh my gosh!
So
Like,
I
don't
see
even
I
like
see
the show.
I see some hashtag Josha.
That's
I
crazy.
honestly think
Yeah, 2019 is like the last time he posted anything.
What?
yeah.
What?
September
Yeah.
of 2019.
That's an influencer.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta.
Does the last one say I'm trapped? That's
So
the last
there it
one.
is.
No, it's a picture
September,
of the casting crew or the cast of Wheel of
Yeah.
Time.
yeah,
That is
September 12, 2019. Here you go. He's doing another movie. Yeah, there you go. Hey, look, he's reading the books.
I'm surprised they let him. I mean, to be honest with you, they should have
Well,
been like, nobody read the book.
Well,
please.
Well, you guys heard the actress playing Nynaeve, her statement about it, right?
Mm-mm. No.
it
So
was
she
so
was
different, right? Yeah, it was so different. She had to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, she said that she literally had to put the books down or like set the books aside, something like that was her quote, in order to play the character because they were so different. So
I mean, yeah.
I was surprised she was allowed to make that statement. Honestly, it was fairly.
She probably
recently.
wasn't.
She probably there you go. Zach's got it. She probably
She's
wasn't.
just they're all going rogue.
Yeah, they're all just. She probably said it. Well, she probably just said it matter of factly, like,
Yeah.
well, like, why did you? It's like, well, I had to stop because it's so different from the books that it was her. I couldn't do it because it was messing up. It was messing up my art.
Like
And
Mark
they're like
Hamill.
sitting there, their mouths are open, like, what the fuck did she just do? Like, nobody prepped her for that one. Like, what the fuck? Keep Josh in the basement. Keep Josha in the
Marilyn
basement.
brings up a good point here. So to be fair to Josha, so none of us are talking shit about Josha. I'm sure he's a very nice guy.
No, not at all.
This has, I actually, I agree with this. I fully respect the fact that he read the entire series. I'm disappointed that he's the only one who read the entire series.
So,
I would have thought that to be an actor for something like this, you would think that you would have to read the series.
It's not the cast's fault. This is not the cast's fault.
It's not the cast's fault. And we're having a little fun with him, but I actually have a great, I'm glad he read it. And I'm just saying he read it and he sort of started having some of the same feelings that we're having. And maybe they've sort of said, well, we can't put him out in front of anybody because who knows what he's going to say. I mean, we have people saying they can't read it by mistake. You know, he's now read it. Maybe we have to keep him pushed to the side. Like they should. Like, I don't know how you do an adaptation of a series and like it's not required reading.
Well, did you guys see one of the more recent Rafe Judkins interviews? He talked about the writer room, and actually, I think I know that you saw this because I forced you to watch part of this. It was one of the Dragon Mountain interviews. He was talking about the writers' room. And he said that like we have such a diversity in the writer's room, which of course he was using that in sort of a dual use, right? But he was saying that we have a diversity. We have people who have read the books, and we have people who have never read the books, and we have people who have like only maybe like read like a little bit, but like they haven't finished them or something. I'm like, that's not the diversity you want in your writer's room.
All the people that haven't get out. Or you have about a month to finish.
Like it's one thing season 1, right? Like I was willing to accept it like before season 1 came out when they were like, yeah, like some of our writers have read the book, some haven't. I was like, there's 14 books plus a a prequel, right? Like just a serious undertaking.
The thing about that though is, I'm sorry, I mean,
no, go ahead. Go, Mike.
The thing about that is you have to be able to write so that there's continuity. Oh, for fuck's sake. Continuity. There's continuity. And so if you haven't read the entire series and you're pitching ideas, they could directly conflict with something that's going to happen in book 6.
If you were going to do something like say like burn down the Two Rivers set, like if you were going
to So at least stay ahead right? I mean, and then you should have a showrunner that knows you have to like revisit certain places so you don't burn them down and build a completely new set that doesn't look anything like the Blight at all, and then you have to tear the Blight down again to rebuild the original set. That should be your showrunner's job to know you have to revisit some of these places. The actors and the crew and even the writers to a point just stay ahead of the source material. Like season 1, Eye of the World, read Eye of the World, maybe The Great Hunt. Season 2, you're getting into Dragon Reborn territory. Read it. I mean, it's not that hard to read. Like, just throw an earbud in, and you can listen to Audible while you're having your finger sandwiches and your mud baths, and doing whatever they do in San Francisco with that guy that wrote that hit piece.
Christopher Noya, hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm happy you found the subreddit. Yes. I'm sorry the subreddit is closed for business.
That's true.
Kevin, you found the White.
If you want more toxic impressive. Wheel of Time coverage, come to my channel too. I'm the most toxic.
Yes, go check out Steve. He actually, I think, is if there's a rage farmer in the Wheel of Time community, he's got the most to farm. I'm not saying that he's not farming it. I'm just saying he's got a lot. Like if you see the guy's cornfield next to you, and you're like, damn, that's a lot of corn.
So,
that's what I'm saying.
I get mad too easily. I don't know what to say, but oh well.
Do you have your Discord linked?
It's linked on our channel. But
let me see if I can
I'll drop a link to it. Yeah. Do we really? I don't know if we have any more to talk about this at this point. We can talk about John Wick. I'm actually super excited to hear about that. Unlike Wheel of Time, which I want to know.
I don't want to spoil it though for people, but I enjoyed it. It was what people have said it is. It's these very creative action set pieces, one after the other. Some interesting new characters. They built out the world quite a bit. Like there was a lot of world building that they could then sort of spring off of for the TV series if they're going to do the Continental. If that's still happening, I think it still is. But they really, really built all of it out. You got to see more about the table. Lots of references to the other families that are involved, in who's sitting at the table and what their roles are. We get the Kurgan, who he's always awesome. Mhm.
Kurgan.
And really, honestly, Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård, I was impressed with him because I've never really, I kind of always saw him as being Alexander's little brother, which he is, but kind of like he's a pretty big dude, and he actually has like a presence in this film that I've never seen from him before, and so I know he's supposed to. This is a tangent, but I know he's supposed to be in the Crow reboot, which I don't think is a good idea, but I think that I feel better about it now than I ever have before because he seems like he could pull off that kind of a physical role. I still wouldn't remake The Crow, for the record.
Asking for trouble, right?
But
so is it continuing to tell good stories, or is it like, is this a cash grab? Like, that's, I think, the question people have when, like, I think you said before, he's definitely aging, right? So,
yeah.
And I think someone in the Discord brought up that it was originally like kind of planned as maybe 5 movies, and this is the 4th and is going to be the last one, right? So what do you say to people who think that, like, what are we still doing making John Wick movies?
I think that this was, I think if there was a cash grab, they could have made it easily into 2 movies and made twice as much money. And really, screening a 3-hour film is not the best way to make money, anyways. With theater space,
it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
3
man.
hours.
Well,
does it feel like 3 hours?
It feels to me. It did.
Yeah, did it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it as well?
It fell off a truck.
At your neighbor's house, and then you went over and watched it with your neighbor. I get what you're saying. That's a real wholesome story. You watching all these movies with your neighbor.
So, I mean, I think the aging thing is probably, I mean, Keanu's getting up there. These movies are got to be physically demanding. I mean, you've seen all the gun training and stunt work training. He takes these movies very, 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 very seriously, and it's got to be a lot of work for him. So he might. I mean, I heard it was going to be 5 too, and then I think Reporio told me was that they went from 5 to they just made this one longer, like you guys are saying. So
it feels like that.
It may have just been like she's like, I just can't do anymore. I just can't. It's just like, I love him, but I can't do it. Right? I mean, I don't know.
There's a post-credit scene as well. So
there is, yeah.
I don't know how amazing it is, but it's there, and it's kind of what you expect to be there. Yeah, Pips, your video is all screwed up. But
is it back? No, reset.
Oh, you look great.
Yeah, it's just you.
Good pose.
It looks just a still of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoning in from his compound and.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the deal is with Donnie Yen. Well, he has to be basically copy pasted from Rogue One. Same character.
Yeah, I guess, right. Yeah, kind of. He's got tons of charisma, though. I like him.
Oh yeah,
I think.
So
and Scott Adkins,
I got a question. The an actor from the movie, was it Lance Riddick, right?
Yeah,
just passed away.
Yeah.
Is this his last movie? I don't know if you guys know, the last kind of movie to come out. And if it is, it's gonna be one of the last ones at minimum, right? Do you think is it a good send off for him? Like, I've actually kind of liked him as an actor. I've generally liked his works, minus the really terrible Resident Evil sort of TV show, but that wasn't really his fault.
No.
So,
is it a good send off, Mike? What do you think?
Very clairvoyant of them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe some interesting stuff for people to see. But
I know what that means.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rough.
Yeah. One of the things, like, Scott Adkins is in it. And I think he must be in a fat suit, but he's a martial artist, and he plays a character who's basically a rebuff of the Kingpin in a lot of ways, but he does it really well. And he's only in it for a bit, but I did like him. they really added some flavor to the world outside of John Wick. The fight scenes were kind of, I mean, they weren't realistic. So you put that out of your head, because the first movie I thought did a pretty good job of showing him taking down people using space, and like especially the fight in his home where he knows his home, it's dark, so he has all these advantages and he uses them well. This is like over the top. We have so much budget. We're gonna throw all these people, and it's not even close to being something you can buy into being real. But it's still entertaining to watch, and everyone has Kevlar suits, so that's a thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like as the stakes get up, the choreography
Kevlar
gets a little bit.
suits.
Well, yeah, they have their suit and tie with Kevlar lining, so they're walking around in their fancy suits, but they're bulletproof, right?
And so ballistics do nothing because you have Kevlar, a thin layer of Kevlar, so you can get hit however many times as
you have
need
to though, because you have to keep upping the ante here.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is like as the ante gets up, like some of the gun choreography gets worse because it has to be ramped up. There has to be more people, so it's like you see a lot more walking at him with guns instead of shooting at him. Right? It's like okay, so but it's like you have to just sort of know that's where it's going and let it go. Right. I guess. Right? Is that? I mean. At least that's what I've done for the other ones. I mean, the dog scenes in 3 were freaking. I think the dogs fights in like with the dogs in 3 were freaking awesome. I loved them. I don't know.
There's a good dog in 4, so that stuff is there. I like that part of it. I thought they ramped that up well. They add some cool different takes. Like there's an isometric view of a fight scene that they add, and it reminded me of kind of playing XCOM, and I don't think I've seen that before, and I thought that was effective because it's not the norm that you would watch in an action film. But I did. I thought it was cool. A cool idea, a way to sort of break things up, and instead of just throwing waves of people at him, which they do, it's just a different angle to see a fight from, and it felt like a game. That part of it, anyway. Cool. But yeah, it's a fun action movie. But it's a lot of, it's pretty much nonstop action, and it doesn't feel like it has the stakes. I think they try to add stakes, but it doesn't have like this. The first one has feels like it has stakes. It reminds me of the other two in that it doesn't feel like it has as much. There's a little bit, but I like it. It's my second favorite of the Wick movies.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really? Okay.
I mean, that's really, really good to hear. I mean, that sells me 100% on seeing it in theaters then, because the other movies, they weren't all of a kind in terms of quality, but they were all really fun to see. Right.
I feel like one is up here and then the rest sort of go like down there. Right. It's like they're still enjoyable, but they weren't like that. Right. They were just sort of like, they didn't quite get back to where they were. Still fun. I've seen them all in the theaters. I'm going to go see this. My dad loves these. So if he's feeling up to it, we're going to go watch that together. Cause it's one of the few things we actually go out to the theaters to see is this type of movie. So, yeah, I'm glad to hear that, top 2. That's good for me. Shoot.
Yeah.
I would definitely go see it in the theater if you can.
And you always get worried too when they continue to make like a series of movies. Most movie series, it's like the first one is the best, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the reason you get 2 and 3 is because 1 was really good and made a bunch of money and lots of people liked it, right? So the first one's the best, and then the rest are just kind of just worse and worse over time, and you're just hoping that they continue to be good enough that people will still come back and see them. So by saying that the fourth one is actually better than 2 and 3, I think, I'm sold.
I think I'll remember this one much more than 2 or 3 as well. There's some good moments in it. It's the question of scale with the combat is not as good, because there's some guys that he has a hard time with, and there's other guys that he doesn't, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. In some ways, you'll know when you watch it, and I hope you like his flying armbar to the triangle, because he does that. He does that a lot in this one. That's kind of his go-to now. So you're saying that the show lacks kind of a Worf character to establish who's the badass?
Wait, what? Wait, what Worf are we talking about?
Not Picard season 3 Worf.
Okay, sorry.
More, Yeah.
Just clarifying.
There's faceless guys that he fights that he has a really hard time with that you don't actually see. And then there's guys who you think, oh, this is going to be more of like a mini boss, and they're dispatched fairly easily.
Yeah, in like an Indiana Jones kind of way, though, where like the
it's
guy
sort of
comes
like
out and swings a sword around, and
it's sort of like the cutscene. Was it the second one where they put up the assassin calls, and you see all the calls going to the assassins, and then they have the cutscene where he's killing each of them, and some of them he's just like puts them out with a pencil, and then the other one he's like the guy gets up from being shot in the head. He's got to shoot him in the head 3 more times, like sort of that.
Sort of,
yeah, like the giant dude in the subway, right? That was the one that he like had to kill like 5 times.
Yeah.
That's why they introduced the Kevlar to make it more realistic, where he's shooting people, they're not falling. But he uses that to his advantage. I don't want to.
Yeah,
anymore.
I'm looking forward to it. That's all I know. So
physics play a role in this game, in this show.
Oh, okay, cool, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because science. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Well, I'm pumped. I'm definitely gonna see it. I guess Steve, okay. So you were like, I'm definitely not gonna see the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Me talking about it at all? Are you even like interested, or are you like still screw Wizards of the Coast, not going to?
No, I mean it'll be one of those things I probably watch when it comes out on a streaming service. I don't know that I'll go to. Not that I'm a good gauge. I don't have as much time to go to the theaters as I would like, let alone there being stuff out. But I don't know if I was. I mean, I may go just to form an opinion, but I don't even know when it comes out right now. So it's not like we'll put it this way. It's not like John Wick where I know I'm going to go one way or the other. Whether I just have to carve out 3 hours myself and go. Or I go with my dad or somebody else, right? So I know I'm going to make that one. Dungeons and Dragons is a big, huge maybe. And then definitely when it comes out on streaming service.
Go see John Wick and then just walk into the theater for D&D.
Well, if I'm by myself, I'm not going to force my dad to do that. Oh my god!
Oh,
Mike is yeah. Woo.
I don't want to give crap movies my money, but that's just really what it is.
So you don't want to get? No, I was going to say something bad. They're not all bad.
So I will say that, and this is probably actually the number one reason why I'm actually hoping that the Dungeons and Dragons movie does reasonably well, is because I don't think it's a crap movie.
Oh no, I didn't mean that one. I just meant in general.
Yeah, fair. I'm just saying that I think that the corollary to I don't want to give crap movie my money is that we kind of have to go see movies where like a studio is trying to do the right thing. Even sometimes where like it's maybe not, 100% there. It's not going to be like an amazing movie. But the one thing I'll say about Dungeons and Dragons that I was not expecting based on the media coverage, based on the statements from some of the producers, I did not think that there was any agenda in the movie. It was not the shit on Chris Pine and the guys movie. It was not strong whammon. It was not, it wasn't politics and stuff being pushed. And I can't think of the last time that we saw like a fantasy or like you might have described as genre fiction. I don't know if anyone else uses that term. That was my creative writing class in college back 20 years ago or something like that. I can't remember the last time that I saw a movie in that space that was not pushed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a tough one because of the company involved. That's all it is.
I know.
And what they've done with the promotion too, leading up to it, is just so mind-numbing.
Yeah, they're not doing themselves any favors, right? It's like, okay, they're making the situation where you have to fight with yourself. It's like, do I go or but they've just, it's like, man, it might be okay, but man, they're really pains in the asses and they're being real assholes about this. Maybe I just should wait, right? And I think that's sort of where I've landed with some of these things. If it's not like a sure win for me right now, I'll just wait. which I mean isn't
Which-
great, but I mean, it's
Which
not,
I was actually going to highlight Thumb's comment here. I was going to say that. So right now I will say maybe I was sitting there, I was watching a movie with my wife. It's been a while since, her and I got to go see a movie in theaters and order the popcorn and do that stuff. She was looking real good that day, maybe that's all it was. Maybe the movie sucked, but I had great company, maybe that was what it was. She ordered these like pretzel knots things that were like actually pretty solid. So, maybe it was just the
You weren't
movie
watching any of the
theater
movie.
experience.
You're just checking out Mrs. Pips. That's all.
I was just looking down her shirt the whole time, and I was like, "This movie's great."
It's
so yeah,
I'm more likely to
look
see
for
it
the
now
reviews.
I'm more likely to see it now that to hear that you liked it. I'm shocked, and it's good.
I was
if
not
it's a good
expecting
movie.
it.
Yeah,
I would. That's the thing that makes me feel like I'm not being a crazy person here, because like I went into this movie literally. We were at a friend's house right beforehand. It was like, yeah, we were hanging out with them. And we're like, hey, we got to go see this movie though. We got these 2 tickets for this thing, and my wife and my friend's wife were like, oh, like I wanted to see that movie. Well, you have to tell if it's good, all this stuff. And I was looking at my friend, so the other husband, and I was like, dude, I think this movie's gonna be shit. Like I was talking about some of the articles that I'd seen, and I was like, man, everything that I've seen fantasy in the last couple of years has been absolute trash. And like what these producers are saying about it, like this is going to be terrible. But she really wanted to see it, and the opportunity to buy tickets for an early showing showed up, so we went, right? And then I got there, and I was not. I don't think I was even questioning it or like upset about the movie after probably like a couple, maybe like 5 minutes in, where like maybe 5 to 10 minutes in, like however long the like intro kind of framing device that they use was, I was suspicious. I was very suspicious. And it won me over. Like, I feel like by the end of it, I was just enjoying the ride. So that tells me that I don't think I'm being insane, but maybe she just had a real nice dress on. It's sundress weather again. Like I'm not responsible.
You're recalling specific scenes and stuff too. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's not like you just glazed over, but I think I'm more likely to see it now than I was before. I still don't know if like morbid curiosity is going to get the better of me. I guess if curiosity got the better of me, then I'd be like, all right, I'll go. I guess that's where I'm at right now. It's like, okay, I've heard some decent things, and then maybe it's like, all right, you know what? Let's go. Let's see. I'm just curiosity just peaked, right? So I don't know.
yeah.
So let me ask you guys all this: do you guys have good home theater systems?
It's
Just nodding yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's not amazing. Light control is bad, but other than that,
you feel that you're missing out a lot if you watch it at home?
Not D&D. I wouldn't like maybe John Wick because you get that full, in the seat experience.
Can I say one thing that I think is huge, that I don't think gets talked about in this area enough, is when you go to the theaters, it's sort of an event, right? So like you kind of get into the headspace to it, and like when you go to the theaters, lights come down, cell phones get put away, and you watch a movie, right?
True.
So like I can't watch a TV show or a movie with my wife and have her not be on her phone, even if she likes it, even if it's a show she wanted to put on. She's gonna be on her phone for like 3/4 of the time, and like I do it too, right? Like it is a rare show where I find myself and I'm like at the end of the episode, I'm like, I only looked at my phone twice, and so that I think is actually huge. Where when you go to a movie, there is that difference in experience where all you did for 2 hours is watch this movie. So I do think it's different, and yeah.
I was just asking, like, wait till it comes out on streaming, because I don't think D&D is going to do as amazing as you might think. It's not going to be in the theaters very long. It'll probably end up on some sort of, buy it, rent it on Amazon, or rent it or something on Netflix, and and just watch it that way.
So I wonder what their budget was. 151 million, and apparently like 17 cents in advertising and marketing is what I think. Like about Tree Fitty is what they spent.
You know what?
100
All you have to do
I
is
think it'll
trot out
make
some
money.
people who wrote some writer or whatever who will pretend that he played the game growing up and always dreamed of making a D&D movie. That's all you have to do. And then, so that's why these things are in there. And then you already have a decent cast with some named people.
Get the cast. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Zach.
Yeah.
Get the cast to play a game of D&D on YouTube.
True.
Or on Twitch or Stream or whatever.
The marketing has been
in costume.
Yeah. Had they done that, had they gotten shoot, what's that actor? He was in the True Blood show.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah. So he plays D&D on a YouTube channel and stuff like that, right? And he apparently lots of people watch. Like get people like that to advertise for the show, get them to come out and do a screening. They should have done advanced screenings, not for Amazon members and for these other groups or whatever. They should have, gotten people from local game stores and got them to go watch.
No, because nobody trusts the advanced paid screenings in London.
No, they don't.
To get actual. They should absolutely. There's more proof of that than ever lately. That when you got people coming out going, yeah, I went to see the advanced screening. They made me sign this thing, but now that's up, so I can say whatever I want. It's like, oh well, that's great. Why do I believe anything you got to say? So I think you're right. Random screenings and then random exit interviews with people coming out of the theater going, "What'd you think?" I think that's a strategy that could work because it's just regular people telling you their opinion.
Yeah. Your Barmy points out 50 million more than John Wick 4. Sounds like John Wick 4 was probably a low budget film almost by Hollywood standards these days.
They always are.
But that's maybe a decent point. So 151 million is not a low budget movie. It's not a Marvel movie, right? Those movies are, 500-600 million in budgets. So I think it could make money. I think it could make that back if it gets some word of mouth going. Maybe
it'll make that
amount of money.
Do you think? I don't think it's gonna. I think it's DOA.
150 million.
I think it's dead.
Well,
we'll see. And I'll eat those words.
Will see.
I mean, we'll see. What we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons,
movie, right? So
we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, not John Wick, right?
It's like
John Wick will make its money back.
Yeah. Oh, John Wick's gonna make its money back.
Oh,
this
for
weekend,
sure.
probably.
No. So we're talking. No. So this is not Stranger Things. Because
I'm just saying post Stranger Things, post Critical Role YouTube channel stuff, which hate them or love them. That's not the point. I'm just saying that like there are Dungeons and Dragons is on a resurgence. Like the reason Wizards of the Coast has been doing such ridiculous crap the last few years is because they're selling a shit ton of product.
Yeah, but here's
it is shit product, but they're selling a shit ton of it.
Here's the deal, though, right? So they shit all in the cornflakes of the people that would have gone and see this. So you have a bunch, most of us here were like, we never would have saw it anyways. Wizards of the Coast looked like crap. They advertised like shit. So until you said something about, it actually was fun, and there was no consideration from I think any one of us to even give it a second chance. So I think the well's been poisoned by themselves with their crappy advertising and their political views. So I don't know that I don't know. I mean, all I know is the hype machine. I don't feel any hype machine for this movie. John Wick, I have. So this is just like I don't even know when it comes out. I don't even know when it officially comes out. D&D.
The 29th has a screening. The preview screening, and then I think it's the
31st.
Yeah. But
you're 100% right there. There's no hype. The advertising been crazy, which I was highlighting your Barmy's comment there because I would be shocked if they spent $100 million on marketing this. I think that they've dropped a few trailers on YouTube, and that's it.
Yeah, that's about it. You're right. Yeah.
So I don't know how much it drove it back up. I don't know. What I can say is that it at no point watching the movie was I like upset by the visuals, either in the setting, the costumes, the characters. Like, so I mean, they do have some big name actors. They clearly spent their budget in the right places when it came to set design, CGI, that kind of stuff. It wasn't, walking around in the volume. I think they actually had a fair amount of built sets. And a lot. They went to a lot of different places, and the CGI shots of big panoramic stuff like generally looked pretty good. They had some pretty good effect shots. The owlbear, like I said, looked very good. Most of the wild shaping looked good. So like much better CGI work than we've become accustomed to, especially if you've watch Disney Plus content. But maybe you guys are right. You guys might 100% be right. I just want to say,
maybe break even. I don't think it's going to make, and if it makes much, it won't be much. I don't think.
I just think that normies are what fill out theaters, right?
Where it would have made a bunch of money is that Blockbuster Video. No, I mean really, like go to actually rent the movie.
I agree with you.
But what were we gonna say, Zach?
Now everyone has Amazon Prime and Netflix and Hulu and everything else. It gets lost in the clutter.
I was gonna say, like, all of the marketing that they've done, and even if they had just kept a muzzle on people, and because the big three news stories that lead up to this with that company are, well, we thought it was fun to emasculate the male characters, right? That's the one piece of press. Then there's the OGL thing that Wizard of the Coast tried to pull and then had to back out of because everyone was pissed off at them about that. Then you have the executive VP going and saying you can't wait for white men like him to get out of the hobby, and it's like, so just shut him up. Like, he goes on a podcast that no one watches, says dumb stuff. Like, this movie is coming out, you guys know this, and I feel bad from what you said. For the people who made this movie, obviously cared, and they did all the work, and then like just put a muzzle on these people for a few months.
Shut them up.
Let the movie come out, and then pull your shit.
Absolutely,
it makes no sense.
And then on top of it, look at what surrounds it. You got John Wick in front of it, and then Mario is going to suck out all the air. Mario's going to suck out. It's going to just suck all the air out of the room.
The one thing that I'm going to throw out here, and I'm curious to hear your guys' takes on this. I don't actually buy, generally speaking, there are some movies that people go out and they see that movie multiple times, right? There are some movies, we've seen those movies, right? But generally speaking, the vast majority of people, they go see one movie one time. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily buy that a really strong movie production, right? Like a really strong movie time slot, we'll say, hurts your movie.
Well,
and the reason that I'll say this is if you go to John Wick is going to hurt this movie probably. A lot of people are going to see John Wick instead. They're going to see the trailer for this and they're going to be like, whatever, right? But Mario, like, you're going to have people that take their kids to this.
True.
And if the kids watch the D&D trailer, which I think is a good trailer, I think that those kids might want to see that movie, and parents might watch it and be like, that looks like not, me gouging my eyes out on a Saturday, wrangling all of my kids.
Maybe, but there is also not everybody can go to the theaters endless amounts of time as well. So, especially if you're taking the whole family to see Mario, that's an event. You're going to spend what? $60 on 50 $60 on tickets. All the kids are going to want freaking popcorn and sodas or candy or whatever. All told, you're going to come out of there spending $200 to watch a Mario movie that they probably want to come and see again if it's any good. So I get your point.
That's a really good point.
I get your point that it's like, oh, hey, that Dungeons and Dragons movie looks great. We should watch that when it's at home because they're going to watch the Mario movie. And if it's good, we're going to be back here in a week watching the Mario movie again because that's sort of how kids watch, they find, they latch on to one thing. It's like, wow, that was cool. Let's watch it again. Like, I think those are a lot of where your repeat viewings are coming with some of these things, especially the animation. If the Mario movie is good, kids are going to want to watch that thing over and over and over and over again. So
no, I think the chat is pointing this out, and I'll say I think you probably just changed my mind on that. I think that you're making a good point that in my mind, I'll admit I don't have kids. In my mind, I'm thinking like, hey, if I go with my wife and if we had kids, if we went to the theater and if I'm seeing something, and we had a good time at the theaters and they wanted to see something else, yeah, maybe I'd do it again next week, right? But I also, I had younger siblings, much younger siblings, and so I grew up, with my youngest brother watching Shrek. Like you'd take it out and you'd start the movie over again, right?
Right.
Like so like I can totally see what you're saying. Where if it's actually as good as that Mario movie looks like it very well might be, that could totally suck the air out, and it is expensive. So
yeah, well, it's like,
thank
okay,
you for that
hey,
perspective. That's good.
Dungeons and Dragons, hey, that's something we can watch at home movie night with the kids. The kids will like that at home, right? So it's one of those.
Yeah,
maybe they'll gain some. That's the whole point of previews before movies, is to try and capture those viewers. But
yeah.
I think they're going to have a hard time if the Mario movie is as good as it looks. They're going to have trouble dragging kids away from seeing that movie for months. Because I forgot what the last movie was, and I didn't know. But there was a movie where I was amazed. I forgot which one it was, but it was a cartoon movie that was out for like months, and it was still like making $30 million a week. It's just like, because it was the only kids movie out, and it was just they just kept wanting to go back. Sorry, Zach, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Puss in Boots, or
yeah, that was it. Was that it?
Yeah.
I know.
I heard it was
Puss in
good.
Boots.
I don't know.
Yeah, I heard it was good too.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys then. Can you guys think of a movie that like did sort of middling in the box office recently and like maybe did well on streaming services or something else? Because I'm trying to think of if there's something else we can compare it to and say maybe it'll do as well as this and that will give it this amount of take. I'm trying to look up something else and see if I think it can make the 150 back. Because honestly, you made a pretty compelling case that like Mario coming out the week after this, even if it has a good opening weekend, which is going to be hard because John Wick is the weekend prior, right? So John Wick is going to hurt its opening weekend, and Mario is going to crush its second weekend.
It's going to crush it. Yeah, it's going to crush it.
So,
I'm trying to think of even recent movies. Man,
yeah, it's tough. I think that really, if this movie had come out at Christmas, maybe, and they hadn't tried to make you feel bad about yourself prior to, instead of like being able to go just we want to make sure you have a good time with the movies, go have fun at the movies, then maybe it would have but it's like, for me, I think Steve makes a really good point, because if you're going to go see John Wick and then Mario is coming out, are you going to try to sandwich another movie in there, considering how much it costs to go to a movie right now? That may be like a bigger factor than usual with this one.
The only one here I've seen that I saw on streaming is Cocaine Bear, which was a movie release, but now is, as of March 21st, is on streaming.
But I think your point is right on the money, Sax, because it's like, we haven't had this problem in a while.
No,
where it's like there's a lot of movies out that we could potentially go watch. I mean, we haven't had John Wick in Mario within a month. That's like winning the lottery. And then if you throw D&D in there, and if it's okay, it's like, holy crap! I got to decide between 3 movies. When's the last time we've had that problem in the movie theaters? And it's expensive. You were just there. It's expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive. Yep.
So
the last one I saw was Maverick.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, yep. I think me as well, to be honest.
Bullet Train. There you go. How did Bullet Train do? I know Bullet Train did okay streaming.
That's actually Bullet Train did do a decent job on. Okay, that's let's check that one out.
I just pulled that one out of my A, so I don't know. I thought it seemed to do pretty good on streaming.
Bullet Train did 100 million at the domestic box office. So domestic only did 100 million, and then made more, I'm sure, on streaming. It made more than double that international box office. So it made about 238 box office.
So I don't know. Maybe it may
plus another about 7 million in video sales, and then I don't know how streaming revenue actually goes. Interesting. All right, hey, you guys. I think you probably have won me over. I'm now probably leaning towards this movie is not going to make money, but that it might be a movie that I might personally consider picking up. I did have a pretty decent time with it. We'll see. Maybe my wife is going to go see it a second time with her friend, and maybe she'll tell me that maybe I was wearing a really cute dress that day, and so she was.
I think it could do well. It could do well once people actually go see it at home, and there's nothing else to color it than the experience itself, and they like it. Maybe you watch it multiple times, and maybe it picks up steam that way.
Maybe
like an audience, maybe.
Or I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe it's one of those things that it just like the stuff surrounding it helps it. It's like people
Yeah.
don't want to get into a crowded theater, or they get there and something's sold out. And it's like, all right, well, we came here, let's watch this.
True.
I mean, I know that used to be a thing. I don't know if it's a thing anymore. But I don't know, man. It's one of those.
Nobody shows up to the theater without tickets anymore, though. You know what I
know,
mean?
right?
Yeah,
So
you're right.
I don't know. So I don't know. It's one of those. I think it'll probably get close to breaking even, and I think they should consider that a win. I honestly, if it breaks even, I think that's a win for that movie, considering its competition.
I'll say if I'm not crazy and the movie is as good as I feel like it is, which is, to be fair, I feel like I'm maybe sounding like I'm really enthusiastic about it. I'd probably put it as like a 7 or 8 out of 10 in terms of like it's an above average movie. I enjoyed it. It's not a great movie, right? I would say at a minimum, it's an above average fantasy movie, because I generally think that fantasy movies are often real bad.
Yeah, they don't know how to do them. Yeah,
they don't know how to do them. They don't.
Are there toys for this movie? Because you think that would be an easy one.
You would think. That was kind of the thing I was going to lead into, which is if this movie doesn't make money, and I'm not crazy, it's gonna be a self-inflicted wound. Like all the stuff that you guys are saying about marketing, about muzzling the people who are talking shit about this, about the people at Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons talking shit about the game and fans and all of that stuff. The general atmosphere for a D&D movie, like all of that is them sitting there and just waking up on Monday and shooting themselves in the foot, and then waking up on Tuesday and doing it again.
So there are at least on Amazon there's toys for Dungeons and Dragons, but
Okay.
You know what there is a shitload of toys for? The fucking Mario movie. You can like you walk into a GameStop and they have a whole new line of toys for the Mario movie. Hey, you buy this, you can get free tickets to Mario movie on here. Hey, you want a taco? Here's a movie ticket. Or hey, buy this and you can get a movie ticket. Did you buy a movie ticket? You could get a free taco. It's like, holy crap. It's everywhere. So yeah.
Well, so Thumb is reminding me that hey, it's the good movies you watch along the way. And your Varmy, the one thing I think categorically say, there's no way that Mrs. Pips was looking so hot that I am so confused. This is going to be the best D&D movie that's ever been made.
Yeah,
I can say that. You heard it here first, guys. The best D&D movie that's ever been made.
There you go.
Sorry, I saw that you were throwing up some minis up there. What were those from?
Oh, just random. Talk about toys.
Oh, okay.
This is actually Pips.
Ooh, do you? Oh, okay. Well, now we're definitely showing it up. I was going to ask if you had the ones that you had made from your 3D printer. Do you have your Red Sonja?
You know whose Red Sonja I have? I have Salty Traveling Seas.
All right, I'll minimize him here. I don't want to put him on the spot while he's rooting around.
I gotta get out of here, guys.
Zach's got to run.
I gotta run.
Well, hey, you know what? We've been going on for 2 hours now anyway, so it's probably a decent time. Zax, I appreciate the heck out of you being on here. It was a real blast. What's coming up on your channel?
I'm going to be on a show in about 20 minutes on Flaccid Phoenix's channel. Circle of Jerks this tonight.
Can we put a link in the description maybe? Let's drop that in the comments.
And that's kind of a rotating show we do on Saturdays between 3 different channels. So it's going to be on his channel tonight, and it was on mine last week. And Wednesday at 9 Central, my What's Good show. I don't know who my guests are going to be yet this week, but hoping to know soon.
What's good this week?
That's going to be the question. So I might talk action movies this week because of John Wick, but
Nice.
we'll see. Yeah, I usually know by Sunday sort of what's happening and what I really want to get into. What I liked about one of the things about John Wick is the Sisu trailer was there. So the first time I got to see it
On the big screen.
theater, yeah, it looks great. I can't wait for that one. So that's what
I don't know if I even know which movie
is it Finnish or
Finnish.
Norwegian? Finnish John Wick, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Is how it's being sold, right?
Yeah.
It's on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that vaguely rings a bell. I think that might have been a trailer.
It's badass.
It was a good trailer. Absolutely.
Yeah, badass trailer. And I've heard it's good. And it's been out in Finland for a couple of months, so people have seen it. It's got good word of mouth. It's opening here, end of April, I think. So I'm excited for that one.
That's a good spot too. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for having me on.
Scanda noir, is that the term for all of the sort of like police procedurals and all that stuff coming out of Scandinavia? Is it like that, you think, or is it
no?
Okay.
No way.
No, it's like Triple R John Wick.
Yeah.
Watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer.
Some inventive stuff, action wise.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
Well, Zach, thanks for coming on. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mike.
Good to see you again.
Pips.
Yeah, man. Have a great stream, man. Bye.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Thanks. Have a good stream. I'll probably run over there.
All right, cool.
I'm looking to see what you guys talk about after we greased you up. You guys you ready for the old flaccid.
This is all flaccid show. I just show up, so no planning.
All right.
Good night.
See you, Zach.
Good night, buddy.
Mike, we're playing something. We're playing something to Monday. Pathfinder. It's Pathfinder.
Yeah, fun. Yeah.
And then you got anything else on your channel?
Oh God, no.
No, not even doing astronomy stuff.
No, I was doing something. I had a show idea and I started it, but it's just such a mess that I gave up. So
I saw you playing some. How is beta?
Oh, Diablo.
How's Diablo 4 going? What do you
Sucks.
think?
Oh, you were playing it?
It sucks.
Yeah.
Did it destroy your computer? Did it destroy your computer?
No. Let me give you the good. As always, audio sounds really nice. The ambience is really good.
Yeah,
Graphics are really nice. They're an update from Diablo 3. But man, the story is so boring.
Is it
And
really?
the characters are so, because they decided to do too much. They decided they're trying to be like those other games that are really super popular, the action RPGs. And so they're adding, talent trees and all that stuff. And man, I installed Diablo 3. And you know that part where you start Diablo 3 and you go from there to the end, that little distance. And first you have to fight the guys and they go, I've never seen power like that before.
Yeah.
And then
Nephilim.
Just that little bit was more fun and more engaging than the 4 or 5 hours of Diablo 4 that I played today. It was just, it's just boring.
You don't think it's beta stuff? It's just
no. This is
were you playing solo or were you
I was playing solo, which I was doing the story. I wanted to see what the story was all.
Yeah.
But it was, like the characters don't have their little snarky comments that they make while they're adventuring, they don't say anything. I don't know, all the flavor from the Diablo 3 that I liked is gone. It's just I don't know.
I'll admit my only real interaction with Diablo is playing Diablo 2 with some friends of mine. We have D2R, and we group up and go play. And as somebody who never played the game other than just grouping up with people, I have no idea what's happening.
The story is usually the most one of the most engaging parts. It's just the hell versus heaven versus hell, and the angels are no angels, boy. They're some evil angels, right? It's just it's one of the things that's always been so intriguing to me about Diablo. It's just the story, and man. I hope shit. That sucks.
Well, it's an open beta right now. You can install it and play it.
I know. I feel I don't know. I played enough betas with Warcraft. It's just I might just wait. I don't know.
Well, right now you can play it for free and decide if you're going to pre-order or not.
I guess that's true. That's a good point, Mike. You're full of good points, Michael.
Is it a beta they just is it built as a beta, or are you just playing the first however long of the game?
I have not run into an end yet.
Okay.
And I've been playing like I said, maybe 5 hours of the game so far.
Oh wow. Okay,
So
so
I've
yeah, it's
not-
definitely a playtest.
Yeah, it's playtest, open beta. There's a little bit of a
Oh.
queue to get on, but not more than I think I spent like 20 minutes waiting to get on, so it wasn't the end of the world. And yeah, you know, there's some improvements over D3, but I just enjoy the D3 storyline so much better, and the way the characters act and the way they look. You can definitely tell that modern politics have gotten into some of the costumes and stuff.
Yeah,
Armor.
with Blizzard. Really?
Well,
With
yeah.
Blizzard? No way. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I say.
Shocked. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
my shocked face.
Well, okay, so I used to play a sorcerer, so
No titties, huh? Flat chested.
Exact. Well, no, it's just like you might as well be wearing
Where's
a
the
burqa.
Jeremy at?
It's like head to toe.
Oh wait, here you go.
Like-
just her.
Oh, no, let's not do that.
No titties, just flat chest.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no, it's just no sex appeal at all to any of the female characters. Although my first couple hours I was doing a barbarian or whatever they're called. It's barbarian.
I
doing
heard the
male
barbarian's the worst right now too. So
Yeah, I was doing that. Then I switched to sorcerer. Sorcerer was always fun. Yeah, I
Gotta
have
get
no
that teleport.
intentions. I'm not going to be purchasing it.
that sucks.
Well,
Well,
I don't know
Oh,
that
well.
I was necessarily going to get it. Like I said, I'm not a huge player of the franchise anyway, but it's
Yeah,
still
me and-
still a bummer to hear. I have friends who are really big into Diablo. And,
yeah, me
Well,
and Ryan,
okay, so
yeah, me and Ryan
there's some
usually play
hope
through
here.
the campaign. So
Do either of you have an Xbox?
No.
Yeah, I do.
So you know how you can do the Microsoft pay every month thing and you get the free games and stuff. Well, they're buying Blizzard, so there's a chance down the road that all that stuff will be free to play.
Well, yeah, if they stop blocking it, which they should.
Yeah.
would
I
say-
use my
would say
Xbox as a
player.
Blu-ray player, so
Same.
I just managed to get a PS5 today because of freaking GameStop stuff.
wait a second.
So
You've been on a stream with us this whole time when you have a brand new PS5.
I got no
Man.
games to play with. I got God of War with it. It was like on sale. Like I don't know. I got like
Wait,
a
is
crazy.
it the Rafe Judkins God of War or like real God of War?
No, the real one. The real one. I only ended up spending like $100. I don't know how I freaking pulled it off, but yeah. And I didn't trade
Dan.
away my life. So
Aldan
Yeah.
is saying this sucks. Just like I said, open beta free. If you have a BattleNet account, download it, play this weekend, right? And then you can decide for yourself. That way you don't pre-order and then find out later.
well, I'll
that
get
it's
it.
bad.
I get it free, so it don't matter.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I used to, I'm not gonna. I won't out him. I used to be from California. I lived like by Anaheim,
Mhm.
so have a friend.
Got a friend?
Hmm.
Have a
Hmm.
friend that
You have a friend who also you go over to their house and you share some games and movies together. Just yeah.
No, I haven't been to California in a while, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, Steve. What are you up to other than about to go not pre-order Diablo 4?
I may download it and try it out because it's worrying. Because I was hoping it was good because could have been a
It's
good
subjective,
opportunity.
right? And I don't want
Well, no,
Aldan or you
absolutely.
to pass it.
No, Mike. But I take look, man. I take everything with a grain of salt because my hope was I was hoping it was decent at least that get a group of people together.
Gameplay
and
seems to be fine.
and
like I
just
said.
do like a fun,
Fun.
stream with people playing Diablo. We can get up to I don't know how many people you can get in a party now, whether it's still 5 or not, but that seemed like a good idea at the time. So we'll see if that's still a good idea when it actually comes out. I don't know, but I don't know. Right now I'm a little bit in a holding pattern just because I can reapply for remonetization here in a few days. So
Yeah, how's that been going on, man? Like I know you haven't been reinstated yet. It sounds like there's a timeline component.
Yeah, so you can do the instant appeal thing, which I would assume that probably 98% is denied. It's one of those, you can appeal it, but don't even bother because it's never going to be approved. So you can appeal it in case they made a mistake, which they didn't think they made a mistake, so they immediately reject that, and then you got 30 days before you can reapply for remonetization. And then I don't know if it's like you can reapply.
Did they even tell you?
No, they didn't.
Did they even tell you like what stuff you had gotten demonetized for?
Nope.
No so specifics. you can't even like go and take down certain things.
Nope. I took down a whole bunch of stuff just because anything that I took down a whole bunch of stuff already, but you're guessing. All you do is guess. It's like, okay, well, hopefully that's the stuff they didn't like, and let's do it. So I don't know. My fear is that I miss something, and that's why people have had such problems. It's like if you miss something or they don't like something, you reapply, and then I don't know if you have to wait another 30 days to reapply again or not, which would suck. But
so when are you starting? When are you starting your Subscribestar account?
If this doesn't happen, probably soon after that. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So I have a few things in the works. So I'm probably I think the Sanderson situation warrants a video. It was a little bit more of a details and opinions about some of it.
I can't wait to hear your breakdown on that. When you and Zach were talking through that, I was like, okay, I need to go read this article. There was so much more stuff. Like everything I saw was that he called him he's like, oh, he's a weird Mormon, and he he wears bad clothes and stuff. And I was like, well, first of all, like it's 2023. I think that it's strange to have a journalist saying weird and then religious affiliation afterwards. It tells me a lot more about them than the subject.
But. Exactly, the guy's a hack, but it's just like not to get into it again, but it's just like it's one of those things. The guy himself isn't a writer. A very good writer. It seems like the whole article is based on jealousy that Sanderson is a successful writer, and that Sanderson himself says that he has some problems with prose and some of his sentence structure. He'll be the first one to tell you that his writing style isn't the cleanest, and some people will have an issue with it, and that he's a character world building, magic system type of guy. That's where he excels. So it seemed like after Sanderson sort of agreed with him that that's not his strength, he sort of went down the toilet into calling names and making fun and all kinds of childish, ridiculous behavior from somebody that was invited into somebody's home to be a part of it. So
I'm just blown away by what you guys said about the context of the article, where he spent time in the dude's house, got taken, with him to his convention, and then sat on this story for what did you say, 5 months?
5 months.
So
why? That's the biggest question for me for the whole thing. What's with the 5 months? It's not like you had to do any like if you had to do some research or something, to research some quotes or stuff. There's none of that. The whole article is about his time at Dragonsteel Con with Sanderson, and then the time after that, the discussions he's had with him. That's all it is. So, yeah, nice. There you go.
Is that the new one you picked up?
Yeah, it's the hardback.
Nice. But so the whole thing. So it's like, where does this 5 months come in? I don't understand. So I don't know.
Crap.
It's very weird.
That reminds me of something that I said that I was gonna show off.
The stickers. Yeah. The stickers.
Okay. Let me see how I can do this easily here. If I share my screen.
These were previously library books, so they are used.
Mine, my New Spring is one of those.
And this is my recent acquisition.
Which one is? Oh, nice. More Chuck Dixon, huh? Chuck Dixon is pretty solid. I have been pretty pleased with generally what I see in terms of his projects. I don't know if you guys follow a lot of his stuff or not.
No,
I'll admit to not being a big comic guy myself.
Oh, this one actually is a book. It actually has these things called words in them.
What words?
It sounds
man,
terrible.
I know.
Words.
I haven't read it yet.
He must be a witch. Burn him. Burn it. Sorry. So yeah.
Right,
So I'm sort of that might come out prior. I might make that. So I don't know. There's a few things cooking that I'm sort of. I don't want me yelling at the ether to be the first thing they see when I apply for monetization again. They may be like, ew, that guy's just yelling at stuff. Yeah. So trying to be a little tactical till but that's March 30th. After March 30th, one way or another, there'll be a throw up of content all over my channel probably. So.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing that stuff and yeah.
Have you started moving things over to Rumble?
It's already over there, so should be
nice.
So
good to know. Yeah. All right. I'll say other than the parent video that Alex is still working on. He says 99% complete for forever. He's at a wedding this weekend though, so I can't get too mad that he's not working on his video. But that should get dropped. And then I think next week, so we took the week off this week because of people's schedule conflicts, but we should be getting back into Lord of the Rings related, the book streams, stuff like that next week. And then here I got these to show. So these are the sticker designs. So I went through and got all the artwork done, had to do some digital editing. I've sized these appropriately. So they're currently to scale and sized appropriately to get printed out. I need to prototype them and basically make sure that the color palette is correct when you actually print them onto something and then put them onto your cover, that it's gonna match the colors of the surrounding artwork, which is surprisingly difficult. They actually they've changed the artwork. So when we talked about this before, I think that we had said it looked like it was basically the same art. They just moved, words and title scripting and stuff like that around. They've done some skew and like distortion a little bit. So the aspect ratio of the art is not exactly the same on some of them. And the colors have been adjusted. I think they did some like digital rework of the covers is really what it looks like. So the new covers, the art kind of pops a little bit more is maybe a way to say it. So there's the basics. And then because somebody asked me, here's a possible with a Whitecloaks logo on them.
I like that. I like that a lot.
But yeah, I think I'll probably come out with these in another one that just have kind of a wheel of time. The actual wheel and the snake and stuff like that might be an option as well. And I'm just going to put these out there. So I'm going to make this file publicly available once it's complete. I'll share it on the Discord, and I'll give printing instructions as well as anything if you have to do adjustments on colors or anything like that, and give the product that I recommend for the actual sticker. So there's several of them that they make that you can get a sheet of sticker paper and print it out. So that's basically the idea, and I'm going to go ahead and put those out once I get them finalized. But like I said, I'm kind of at the prototyping stage right now. It's just a question of whether or not I want to release them before all 6 of the books get to me, so I can test the colors on each cover physically, because I do think the color matching is going to be the biggest thing. So I have 2 of the books, 2 more are coming in April, so expect that the files will be coming out pretty soon. Anyway, so they are a thing. They are coming. There's even a company, it's like an Etsy store that I think Mike actually turned me on to. There's somebody who makes similar sticker products for other book series. And I reached out to them, seeing whether or not they might be interested in taking the file and selling them as a product to people as well, in case you don't want to go through the hassle of printing it out yourself. Because I have no interest in making any money off of this, and it sounds like honestly more of a hassle. The more I thought about trying to deal with sending these out to people, the more I was like, this is going to be a huge pain. So making it, giving it to you guys, if you want to go to the effort and printing it yourself, or if I can find somebody who's willing to print them and just, hey, you can go buy them for $10 on their website or something like that. More power to them as a small business, person who's doing something good, and convenience for you guys. So that's the game plan for those, and the status update on that project. And that's it. That's all we got. So I think we've been going for almost 2.5 hours. So I got nothing else. Mike, you got any saved last comments? Steve, you got anything?
No, we're good, brother.
All right. Hey, thank you guys both for sticking with us. Thanks for being here. It was a blast on my end. I appreciated it.
I'll say this real quick. Hold on. Let's do this. Anyone want to watch Pips play Dungeons and Dragons? You have to follow DM Greg on YouTube, and you can watch him do that. And it's every Monday in the evening.
No one wants to do that. They might want to watch you play a is it Kiku Thief?
Kinku, yeah.
Kinku.
No. I'm boring as hell. I do have a soundboard. I place pop culture references instead of talking. But yeah, that's all. It's all
It's
fun.
a good time. All right, thanks guys. And with that, I think we'll call it a night. So everybody, walk in the light, and thanks again.
Good night, all. All hail